I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish that in time. But I've been trying to skip over things and move along rather than fart around like I like to do.
I think I actually did that in The Witcher 2. I just pursued things that interested me
Yeah,
and left everything else. And maybe that might be part of the reason why I enjoyed that game so much.
yeah,
Because I just accepted that I wasn't going to do everything.
yeah. I hate leaving stuff not done, but
Yeah.
especially since I want to see what happen, how it carries over into the last game.
Yep.
So
Guess what I did today?
that.
Aunt Pat and Uncle Bucky came up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For a visit?
They were dropping off table and chairs,
Oh, nice.
but they wanted to take us to dinner.
Mm,
And then after they took us to dinner, we took them for ice cream.
nice. That's cool. I always like visits from Aunt Pat and Uncle Buck.
Yeah.
Ready? Do we get started?
Oh, I think. Yes, we are streaming.
Okay.
Let me put...
You're not echoing or anything, are you?
No.
Okay, because my stupid laptop is downloading updates, and that. Oh, they're gone. I must have paused them somehow. Thank goodness.
Just a second. I'm just trying to...
Yeah, that's fine. All right. What you working on, Corey?
Um,
Are you playing Hearthstone?
no, I'm just texting people.
Wedding stuff.
Okay. Screw them. You can do that later. Let me just fill up my cup here.
Sure. Hmm.
Alrighty.
Ready, Freddy?
Yeah. All right.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome, everyone, to episode 199 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
I'm Corey.
Just me and Corey for right now. Will's going to be... it's
That's weird.
Will's going to be joining us after the main segment. He still has yet to play through The Witcher 1 and Witcher 2. Our main topic, I should say, before we get started, even that part is... Our topic is the Witcher series recap, so we're going to be recovering the very first Witcher game and then The Witcher 2 Assassins of Kings. And Will hasn't played either and didn't want the plot lines and whatnot spoiled for them, so he's going to be coming after the main segment. Eric was unable to make it this week, but we'll all be in studio next week for our 200th episode. So
we'll be there, and maybe we won't really. I don't know. I was trying to make a joke at the state of our minds, but we'll keep it together.
Yeah, we'll try and keep it together. There'll probably be some drinking beforehand. So
I can all but guarantee it.
Yeah. Our main segment is going to be on the Witcher games. We're going to cover the plots, some of the gameplay elements from the first and second games, and whatnot. Do you have anything you want to tease for later on in the episode, Corey?
I don't have anything new that I played. However, I finally got around to playing the new Mario Kart 8 tracks. Went back and played Rocksmith 2014.
Nice.
And also played a little bit of Wolfenstein: The New Order, not the Old Blood, not the one that just came out, but the one that came out last year.
Gotcha.
So I'll talk a little bit about that.
Excited to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, the reason I played it was because the Old Blood came out.
Right.
And it sort of made me realize, I always wanted to play The New Order. I'll go play that, and then maybe play the Old Blood.
Yeah, the Old Blood's going to be a prequel, I think, right? Or is it a prequel?
Yes, it's a prequel. I think it just takes place before. I don't know if it's a prequel leading up to the events. I don't know.
Doesn't necessarily set up the full game.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's get right into the main segment, shall we?
Yeah, lots to cover.
Well, we do have a lot to cover. So the story follows a Witcher named Geralt of Rivia. Witchers are, of course, they're specially trained mutants who use magic and combat abilities to hunt monsters. That's like their primary function in the society. So we'll cover the Witcher first. Might as well go in order, right? Now, I took the plot from the Wikipedia page for two reasons. Mostly accuracy. I didn't want to screw up on any of the details. It's been a really long time since I played the first Witcher, and I never got very far in the first Witcher. And then it's also a lot more concise than I would have made it. I usually like to write the plot line in my own writing or whatever, but this was a lot more trim and neat than I would have made it. So I figured I would take it from the Wikipedia page. And
I'll try and annotate as you go.
Yeah, because Corey played both the Witchers. Recently, the first Witcher. Or did you play both of them?
I played both of them.
For in February.
Was it both of them the same? No. I think I played the second one for 4 in February a couple years ago, but I played the first one maybe 3 years ago, and then I really wanted to get into the second one, but I knew The Witcher 3 was coming out, and I didn't want to play those two, then forget about everything.
Right.
When 3 came out, so I played 2 a year after I played the first one.
Okay.
And it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Gotcha. Okay. Like I said, I wanted it to be accurate, and I wanted it to be concise. I would have made it a lot longer than it needed to be, so these are nice and short. Prologue. So this is the first Witcher game. Prologue starts in a place called Kaer Morhen. A group of Witchers find Geralt unconscious in a field and take him to the Witcher stronghold of Kaer Morhen. Geralt remembers almost nothing of his life before that point. The castle is attacked by a gang of bandits named the Salamandra. The Witchers and sorceress Triss Marigold battle the invaders, but the mage Azar Javed and the assassin Professor escape with the mutagenic potions that genetically alter the Witchers. The Witchers head off in different directions to find information on the Salamandra. Now, this kind of sets up, for people that weren't familiar with the universe at all, that kind of sets up what Witchers do, what their role in society is, which, as I said, is mostly just hunting monsters, protecting like village people from dangerous critters, for lack of a better word.
And we should also mention before we get too into it, that the Witcher series itself is based on a series of Polish fantasy novels, and the best way to describe it is it's very, at least in the games, it's a lot like Game of Thrones. It's a dark, grittier, medieval world. Magic plays a not as big a role as it does in, like your Elder Scrolls and stuff like that, but it's there.
Yeah, I compare the Witcher is more like, because we actually had a feedback about the difference between the Witcher series and Dragon Age and Skyrim. And like Corey said, The Witcher is more Game of Thrones, whereas Dragon Age and even Skyrim are a lot more like Lord of the Rings.
High fantasy.
Yeah, more high fantasy. This, like Corey said, magic is not a huge part of the world. It's there. But yeah, this is definitely more low fantasy, darker, grittier, just like you said, a universe than Dragon Age or Skyrim.
But it also has a big element of humor, especially in, and I'm going to plug the book here, The Last Wish is the one that I read. I started reading The Blood of Elves, which was the first one, and it's an actual novel. And The Last Wish is a series of like 6 short stories or something like that, and it is such a good book. I don't even recommend it to people who like The Witcher or people who like fantasy. I just recommend it to people who like books, because I'm in love with it, and the humor doesn't shine through as much in the video game as it does in the books, but it's just Geralt's wry sense of humor and the things that happen to him and his interactions with all the crazy beasts that he's hunting in the book especially is what makes the games and that universe so great. But I don't want to derail too much. I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, that's fine, and that's one thing I want to do because I'm so interested in this universe and in this world and Geralt. I do want to read the books at some point.
Yeah, definitely start with The Last Wish.
Okay.
And you can see stuff they drew from the books in the video games.
Okay. There's a lot of artistic cutscenes, and is that from the stories?
I don't know about that. Just the actual events that happen in the game. Some of them are taken from the books.
Gotcha.
And the characters, of course. And that brings me back to my point that I wanted to make. Geralt has amnesia in the first video game, which is good because it sort of introduces you to this world brand new, just like Geralt, because he has amnesia. But there's this whole backstory that has occurred already in the books. And so that's how the amnesia sort of explains it away. And as he travels through The Witcher, people are like, "Oh, hey, Geralt," and he's like, "I don't know who you are. We must have met before." So that's why that is there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm starting to get now into the story of what happened to Geralt, before he got his amnesia in the second game. So we'll talk about that when we get there. So Chapter 1 of the first Witcher game, called Outskirts of Vizima. Geralt heads south to Vizima, capital of Temeria, and where King Foltest reigns. On the outskirts, he meets a magically gifted child called Alvin and an old friend, Shani, whom he does not remember. He finds out that Vizima is in quarantine and learns about a conflict between the Order of the Flaming Rose and the Squirrels. After a number of quests and choices, Geralt gets a pass to enter Vizima, but is arrested.
The Squirrels are the Scoia'tael, right?
Yep, the Scoia'tael, which are non-human races in the Witcher world. They're elves and dwarves.
Mostly elves, I think.
Mostly elves, a handful of dwarves. Yep, and they're treated very, very badly in the universe. So the squirrels kind of form to protect the non-human races in the game. So, and that's actually all I played of The Witcher 1 was through the first chapter. I got like right into the beginning of the second chapter, and that's as far as I ever made it. I think I played it 3 different times. The first time I gave up because my computer wasn't strong enough to play it. It was I think it was on this laptop. Just ran like crap on it. And then the 2 other times, like I would play it up until the end of the first chapter, and then something else would come out, and I would lose my place and forget what was going on, and I just would give up at that point. Which is unfortunate, but
that sucks.
Yeah, I will get to it at some point, no doubt. But
I don't know.
I ended in the same spot twice.
Yeah, I don't know if are we going to revisit our top 10 video games for our 200th episode next week?
Yeah, we could probably do that.
I don't know if any of your guys has changed, but I know when we did our 100th episode, we did that in the first episode. We listed our top 10 games. And then for our 100th episode, we revisited it, and some of it changed. And I think I added The Witcher to that list. Okay. That's how much I really liked The Witcher. And for me, it was just the kind of old school PC RPG feel where not everything is spelled out for you. There's a little, you'll find an item and have no idea what it does, kind of thing. And that's what makes me think of that, Dan, is that like first instance in Vizima. Like stuff's happening and the way it plays out is just really interesting, and it's not like all following waypoints. It's like you're actually doing some like investigating and talking to characters and discovering things, and without necessarily knowing that it's something you need to know, kind of thing. It's just you're paying attention, and the writing's all very good, and the characters are great, and I mean that's really what did it for me.
Yep, absolutely agree. So the second chapter, Chapter 2, The Temple Quarter, Geralt volunteers to kill a cockatrice in the sewers in exchange for his freedom from jail. In the sewers, he meets a knight of the order named Siegfried, who not only helps him kill the monster, but also directs him to a private investigator who can help Geralt defeat the Salamandra. Geralt spends the rest of Chapter 2 chasing the Salamandra and working on quests. In the final fight, Geralt is knocked unconscious as Javid and the professor flee again. Javid.
Whatever.
Yeah.
They're the ones that... Did you say in the prologue they're the ones that attack the...
Yep. They're the ones that attack the
Witcher stronghold. Kaer Morhen. The guy from the Order of the Flaming Rose, Siegfried? What was his name?
Siegfried, yeah.
Siegfried. I really liked him.
Okay.
I was quite taken by him.
Nice.
Because you go in, like you said, you go into the sewers to fight this cockatrice creature, which the build up to that you didn't play, but the build up to that is really cool. Because you're finally doing some witchering.
Yeah.
Which speaking,
there's a little bit of that in the first chapter, but not very much. I think there's one thing you kill in the first chapter, from what I remember.
Yeah, but it's more like I need to do this thing.
Yeah.
Because I need to. Whereas in when you're fighting the cockatrice, it's more like, well, you're a witcher, go do your witchering.
Right.
Which I really liked. And it's funny because the developers, CG Projekt Red, actually said, we spent all this time building this huge political, crazy story for The Witcher 2 that we forgot what makes The Witcher The Witcher, is hunting the beasts.
Yeah.
So they said they wanted to get back to that a little bit in The Witcher 3, which is one of my favorite parts of the game. So I'm looking forward to more of that. But yeah, the build up to going to fight the cockatrice is really cool because you have no idea what to expect. But then you go in the sewers and you meet Siegfried, and he's, I don't know, I really liked the animations in this game are really good. The graphics are really good. I mean, The Witcher 1 is somewhat dated at this point.
Yeah, it came out 5 years before 2000. Oh no, Witcher 2 came out in 2011. I think this came out in like 2007, maybe.
Could be, yeah.
Well, it's been a little while.
Yeah.
It must not have been on my laptop that I tried it. I think it was on my old Dell computer, which I still have and still works, by the way.
But yeah, Siegfried. And I'm only saying why I like Siegfried so much because we're going to do spoilers, right?
Oh, yeah. I should have said that at the beginning of the episode. That's going to be... I put that on our Facebook. It would be spoiler heavy episode.
Oh yeah. But I really like Siegfried, and because of that first interaction I had with him in the sewers, I went the Order of the Flaming Rose through that game. It's one of the paths you can take.
Yeah. Yep.
Against the Scoia'tael.
Okay. Chapter 3, The Trade Quarter. Geralt awakes in Triss Marigold's personal chamber in the rich quarter of Vizima. The rest of the chapter is spent uncovering the Salamandra's bases in Vizima and finding out more about Alvin's powers and visions. He also begins uncovering another conspiracy concerning forgeries of the royal seal. During a party of high-standing officials, Geralt meets Princess Ada and then discovers she's connected to the Salamandra. Geralt finally attacks the Salamandra's base in Vizima with the help of either Siegfried and his Order or the Scoia'tael. After the battle, he finds himself surrounded by royal guards and Princess Ada, who declares that she must kill him to conceal her treachery. However, Triss teleports him out of the situation into a village on the other side of Vizima Lake. So that's Chapter 3.
The party you mentioned, the highfalutin party.
Yeah.
I remember being a really great moment because Geralt, as we mentioned, is sort of gruff, very matter of fact,
A little bit sarcastic.
little bit sarcastic. Yeah. So that sequence at the party with him interacting with all this royalty and the high class people was pretty good. And also he's kind of a horny bastard, so
Yep.
there's always that element of him like flirting with
Yep.
people he maybe shouldn't be flirting with and all that stuff.
Well, witchers are they're sterile, so they don't have to worry about popping out little witchers. And there doesn't seem to be. I've read this somewhere else. There doesn't seem to be any concern of STDs, so witchers are pretty much free to bang without consequence. I guess.
Is it that the Witchers are immune
They
to
might be.
STDs?
They might be because of they're immune to a lot of things.
Yeah.
That normal people aren't.
Well, what they do, this is backing up a little bit, but they poison themselves with mutagens until if they survived a certain level, that's how they become
Yep.
Witchers, correct? Am I
It's something like that.
butchering that a little bit, but it's kind of the idea is they just poison themselves like crazy.
Mhm.
But,
Yep.
yeah.
Chapter 4, Lakeside. Geralt and his friend Dandelion find some unsteady peace while taking care of Alvin, helping with problems surrounding an ill-fated wedding and negotiating between the village and the inhabitants of an aquatic city. Eventually, however, the conflict between the Order and the Squirrels threatens the village. The player can be neutral, leaving the inhabitants to their fate, or finally take the side of either the knights or the non-humans. The scared Alvin mysteriously disappears in a flash. Geralt and Dandelion decide to sail back to Vizima. What are your thoughts on that chapter, Corey?
Well, speaking of Geralt having amnesia, you meet Dandelion,
Yep.
who is a bit of a dandy himself.
Yes.
But Geralt, seems to have good rapport with him. And I remember Dandelion's like a bard. I remember not liking him very much in the first game, but in the second game, he's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
But in the Last Wish, and I think he's in Blood of Elves too, going back to the books, The Last Wish, they're like they'd make like a great buddy comedy.
Oh, okay.
Just great rapport between the two. It's really funny to read, and they just have a great time going out and getting in trouble together.
Don't you think they should make a movie in this universe? I think that would be awesome if done right.
Oh yeah, I think they're working on one, aren't they?
Maybe.
Am I making that up?
I hope you're not making it up.
Oh, well, there's The Hexer, 2001 fantasy film. It's a Polish film. I've heard it's not very good.
Yeah, I saw a clip from that someplace in my research.
Oh, so it was a TV series that they chopped up
Okay.
into a film and received very poor reviews from both fans and critics. So maybe not worth watching, but a new Witcher movie is coming. Prepare yourselves.
Okay, I like the sound of that.
So Oscar-nominated director is doing a Witcher film.
Right. Cool. Chapter 5, Old Vizima. King Foltest has finally returned and retaken control of his castle, but at the same time, the civil war has broken out. The squirrels have caused an uprising, and the Order of the Flaming Rose responds by killing non-humans with little discern. Depending on which side Geralt took in the previous battle, he can either be neutral and help the wounded get to hospitals with Shani, or help the knights or the elves in the battle. He also cures Ada once more from a relapse of the Striga curse, or slays her. After which the grateful king discloses clues about Azar Javed's location. Storming a hidden base with his allies, Geralt finally kills the evil mage, but also learns that the Grand Master of the Order betrayed the king, since he is the real mind behind the Salamandra's mutation program.
I'm going to back up a second here,
Yeah.
because I'm watching a video of Geralt running around in Lakeside, and it's jogging my memory a little bit.
Okay.
And it made me think of another thing I wanted to mention that I really love about the Witcher series is that every side quest is fully done. It's not, go slay me 3 pigs and bring me the pigtails, or there's nothing silly like that, or boar heads, or fetch me some deer skin or anything like that. It's you're out wandering or something happens, and it's a fully fledged story in itself with its own little arc. And seeing Lakeside, it reminded me of one quest where you're wandering out in these fields and you see a ghost. and you end up helping this woman who's like in purgatory or something like that redeem herself. I don't remember the specifics of it, but it was just such a spooky, eerie moment, like seeing this ghost out in these fields. And going back to how well the game is animated, like everything has a unique animation, and it really helps bring the game and the game world to life.
Yeah. And the fully fleshed out side quests make the Witcher series feel like it's a living world, more so than anything else. Like a lot of other games, you just look at like you're playing in a theme park. You
Right.
can't really do anything or whatever. But yeah, like one thing I noticed that I've been playing The Witcher 2 religiously for the past like week or so, and I'm in the beginning town Flotsam. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves here, but it started raining, and all the people ran for cover and ran and hid under things, and just that little detail like makes the game world feel alive, because people wouldn't just stand there out in the rain if they didn't have to. It's a cool thing. And like you said, the side quest, like even the small slow side quest has a backstory. Like the person fills you in on backstory, and you do something, and when you complete the quest, you feel like you've actually like done something and helped the person.
And there's always a consequence.
Yep.
And it's
I have a good example of a quest I did in Flotsam that I'll talk about when we get there.
We'll get to. But that was sort of my criticism of Dragon Age. Great game, and it's fine to have all those little run around and collect things quests. But to me, like, it's like you said, it's more theme parky and less like real breathing world.
Yeah.
And it's more like that stuff just appeals more to the OCD in me, whereas the stuff in The Witcher appeals to the storytelling. Love that I have.
Totally agree. And the epilogue for the first Witcher game. With most Knights of the Order and their mutants now entering open rebellion, the king again turns to Geralt with a contract to kill the Grand Master, while also asking what to do with the various factions. Depending on which side Geralt took during the first battle, he can convince the king that the Order, under Siegfried's rule, can still be loyal, convince him that the squirrels are right, or convince him that they are both enemies. Consequently, he either takes Siegfried, Yavin of the squirrels, or Triss Marigold, who is neutral, with him on the hunt for the Grand Master, encountering either Yavin, Siegfried, or both as enemies on his way through the war-torn city. Geralt enters the Order citadel alone after leaving his wounded ally behind, or using a ruse to keep Triss out of danger. Inside, the Grand Master tries to persuade him of his greater plan to save humanity from prophecies of world-consuming ice. The skeptical Geralt is cast into an icy wasteland illusion and must hunt and kill the Grand Master before escaping back to the real world. And then in cutscene, a man with the Witcher's vertical pupils attempts an assassination on King Foltest, but is thwarted by Geralt, thereby setting the stage for The Witcher 2: Assassins of Kings.
That was a great ending. Great ending to the game. Such a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I don't remember. I think I went with Shawnee at the end of the first game.
Okay.
And I honestly, I don't remember. I wish I
kind of neutral.
Yeah. And I know you can carry over your saves into The Witcher 3, but I don't even know if mine's still on my computer. I don't know.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to have a fresh Witcher 2 save.
Yeah.
On my computer. I hope I can get it done. I don't know. It's gonna be tight, but we'll see. So yeah, for the first game, like Corey said, it's got kind of that old PC RPG feel. But I also didn't realize you could do like a closer up third person view, almost like The Witcher 2.
Oh yeah, there's like an over the shoulder view.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware that existed until not that long ago.
To be totally honest with you, I don't even remember which view I used.
I used the isometric view for the most for all my 3 attempts at the first Witcher.
Okay.
And like I said, I didn't stop playing it because I wasn't enjoying it. I stopped playing because of something else. Oh, something new always came along and interrupted. And it's one of those games that after a month or 2 months away from it, you just want to start again because anything that happened,
No idea. I can't even remember very many of the gameplay elements of The Witcher. I mean, it plays like a PC RPG, but the specifics, I know, like the sword.
There's
this
like 3 different stances that you could use.
Yeah, there's like a fast stance, a medium stance, and then a heavy stance, and it all depends on who you're fighting, which is unique. You don't see that in every game. But other than that, I don't really remember anything that sets it apart from a lot of other RPGs, other than the story stuff we talked about, obviously, and the shades of gray versus black and white choices.
Yep. Which Wisher does exceptionally well.
Yes, definitely.
Stuff.
Definitely.
Okay, so The Witcher 2: Assassins of Kings prologue. At the start of the game, Geralt is in prison under suspicion of assassinating the King of Temeria. After interrogating Geralt, Commander Roche decides that Geralt is innocent and aids him in escaping the prison. The two, along with the sorceress Triss Merigold, go in search of the Kingslayer. Yeah, the prologue in The Witcher 2 is actually really cool. You're kind of like storming a castle with King Foltest. I know this because I just played it recently. You're storming a castle with King Foltest. You encounter a dragon out of nowhere. It kind of is defending a little bit the people who you were attacking, the Lavalettes, and chases you off. But you end up taking the castle and whatnot. And you're going after Foltest's kids because he doesn't have any heirs. The young kids are his heirs, and they're kind of being watched up at the top of a tower by a blind monk. And the Witcher kind of hangs off to the side because the King Foltest wants to kind of talk to his kids or whatever. And he sends them off because his son was crying, and he didn't want the other soldiers to see his son crying because kings don't cry. So he sends his 2 kids around the corner to gather themselves, I guess, and that's when the blind monk reveals that he's not a blind monk, and he slits the throat of King Foltest and kills him. And that's the end of the epilogue, or prologue rather, of The Witcher 2.
Awesome.
Starts with quite the bang.
Yeah, very Game of Thronesy.
Yes, it was. So that's why he's in prison. Obviously. His sword's all bloody from fighting all the way up to there, and he kind of goes over to King Foltest after he's dead, and the soldiers come, and the Witcher's standing there, or Geralt is standing there over the king with the bloody sword, and he's like, "Well, what do I do now?"
He takes it well.
Yes, he does. Yeah, he does a lot better than I would have probably. So that's the prologue. Chapter 1. So this is after they escape from...
Who helps him escape?
Vernon Roach.
Vernon Roach.
Triss, too. Triss Merigold.
That's right.
Chapter 1. The trio arrive in the trading town of Flotsam and are ambushed by Eorvith, a rebel elf. It appears to the group that a Witcher believed to have assassinated the king of the neighboring country of Aedirn is in league with the rebels. Geralt saves 2 friends from being hanged in the city square, who were Zoltan and Dandelion. They were going to be hanged, and Geralt saves them. With the help of the sorceress Sheila de Tanzarville, Geralt kills a Karen, a giant monster that is disrupting the town's trade routes. Geralt discovers that the true Kingslayer, known as Letho, intends to betray Eorvith and convinces the elf of the truth. Vernon Roche arrives with an armed force. The player chooses between assisting Eorvith or Roche, thus setting the path of the second chapter. After a duel with Geralt, Letho kidnaps Triss and forces her to teleport both of them to Aedirn. So yeah, based on your choice at the end of this chapter, vastly changes the second chapter of the game. Because you can either go with Eorvith and the squirrels, or you can go, stay loyal to Vernon Roche and go to a completely different spot. Now, this is right where I am. I'm right at the beginning of chapter 2 in The Witcher 2. So
and
it's awesome.
Which direction did you go?
Oh, I stayed loyal to Vernon. I actually wanted to, because that's what I did the first time I played The Witcher. I stayed with Vernon. I wanted to do the go with the Scoia'tael, Eorvith and the Scoia'tael for this playthrough, but I'm like, if this is going to carry over into The Witcher 3, like, I probably wouldn't, if I was Geralt, go with the Scoia'tael.
They do some nasty things, don't they?
They do some nasty things, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they're wholly unjustified, but a little extreme for my taste. So that wouldn't be my natural natural inclination.
You go more the Gandhi route.
Yeah. 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 So, good stuff. Slaying the Kyran was really fun too.
Which one's that, in the swamp?
Yeah, that's in the swamp.
Okay.
Towards the beginning of the game.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
And one of the quests I wanted to talk about, and this one once again is only in like The Witcher. Like I don't feel like this quest would be in any other game, or at least have the outcome of this. So there's some soldiers that are assaulting a female elf. Accusing her of sending some soldiers away into the forest to get killed. So Geralt intervenes. He's like, what's going on here? Because that's something that happens a lot, actually. The soldiers kind of beat up on non-humans, obviously. So Geralt tries to sort it out, and she says, they went into a cave and they just never came back. Like I have nothing to do with it. These soldiers are assaulting me for no reason. So Geralt's like, okay, I'll go check it out. So he goes into the cave, and it's filled with monsters called Neckers. They're like little golem-like guys, is almost how I would describe them. Full of those. So you're like, okay, she was being assaulted for no reason. But as you get further in, you find the dead soldiers, and they have Scoia'tael arrows just all over them. They were very clearly killed by Scoia'tael. So you come out and you confront the woman, and she's like, I still had nothing to do with it, The soldiers want to kill her. They want to just take her and kill her because they think it's her fault. She's like, no, just come with me and you'll see why I did this. So you follow her, and she leads you a little bit deeper into the forest, Geralt and a few soldiers and herself, where you're ambushed by Scoia'tael. So, like, you try to give this woman the benefit of the doubt, like, she was just being victimized by the soldiers, but actually they were right, and she did set them all up, and she tried to have you killed twice for trying to help her. And not like I don't feel like there's any other game that has that sort of quest line in it,
Yeah.
I was like, that's so awesome.
It is.
You're just trying to help her out, but
the one I keep thinking of, did you do the one in the brothel? Or maybe that was The Witcher 1.
That's The Witcher 1.
There's a great quest in the brothel where the prostitutes turn out to be like demons or something like that.
Yeah. I remember you saying that.
So cool.
Yeah.
Such a cool quest.
Yeah. But like, you go into that from other games and you're like, yeah, these soldiers probably were assaulting her for no reason. I'm going to go clear her name. Well, it turns out she's not so innocent. Not only is she not innocent, but she tries very hard to get you killed, like later on, like that just won't happen in any other game. I don't feel like. Maybe Fallout. That could happen in Fallout, but maybe that's probably the only other one.
I don't want to talk about Fallout, Dan.
Oh yeah, too soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so chapter 2, two sections. If you follow the path of Iorvith and the Scoia'tael, it says if Geralt assists Iorvith, the pair sail to Upper Aedirn. There they become embroiled in a rebel plot against King Henselt of neighboring Cadwyn, and they assist the rebel forces. Geralt completes 3 missions, formulating a poison antidote for rebel leader Saskia, determining Triss's whereabouts, captured by spies from the Empire of Nilfgaard and taken to Loch Muin, and lifting battlefield curses that are preventing the rebels from defending Bergen, the rebels' base of operations. The rebels defeat King Henselt's army, and Henselt is forced to acknowledge Saskia's terms. Geralt discovers Saskia is actually a dragon-talking human form, but she is under mind control by her advisor, the sorceress Philippa Eilhart. When Philippa teleports Saskia and herself to Loch Muin, Geralt and Iorvith follow. So that's the storyline I am not familiar with from The Witcher 2.
Yeah, you haven't gotten that far.
No, I've never gone with Iorvith.
Oh, that's right. I don't think I must have gone with Vernon Roach.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember any of that either.
Here's that storyline. If Geralt assists Roach has Geralt. If Geralt assists Roach has Geralt assassinate the town's commandant for spying for King Henselt of neighboring Cadwyn, who is Laredo. That's the guy's name. Geralt and Roach sail to Upper Aedirn. There they become embroiled in a rebel plot against Hensel, and they assist the king. Geralt discovers an insurgency in the Caedweni army, loyalists who are convinced Hensel is conspiring with the Empire of Nilfgaard. Geralt completes 3 missions, determining Triss's whereabouts. Obviously, she was captured by a diplomatic delegation from Nilfgaard and taken to Loch Muin. Lifting a curse on King Hensel, and lifting a battlefield curse that is preventing the king from marching on the city of Bergen. Geralt defends Hensel from 2 Witcher assassins and uses necromancy to discover they are in league with Sheila de Tanserville, who has already fled to Loch Muin with fellow sorceress Philippa Eilhart and entranced rebel leader Saskia in tow. Geralt defeats Hensel's personal guard. Geralt either allows Roach to murder Hensel in revenge for his men and causes a civil war in Caedwen, or convinces him to spare the king. That ring a bell?
Not really.
That's when you're in the army camp.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Muddy army camp.
I do remember that. Yeah. Yep.
So that's the one you did.
That is the one I did. I don't know why that's so vague to me. Must have been. I must have played that for 4 in February because I think I cruised through it.
Hard through it, yeah. Yeah, that's where I am right now. I'm kind of in the beginning of that chapter. Just walking around, talking to people, getting quests, doing the arm wrestling stuff, which is neat, fun.
And the fighting, the boxing.
Yeah, the boxing rings are fun. I haven't boxed anyone yet in the second chapter, but once again, I'm trying to move along in the story, but I also don't like leaving all that stuff undone, you know. So I'm not doing any that you can do. There's also a dice game that you can play too, which is like poker kind of, but with dice.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I haven't really done much of that either. I'm trying to.
I get addicted to those little mini games.
I know. So do I, and I'm trying not to. I'm trying to just let it go. You know.
What was the one in Knights of the Old Republic?
Oh, I don't remember.
Pantan or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
But I remember in that game I blew all my money gambling. That little card game there. I think I did the same thing in The Witcher too.
Yeah.
What's interesting to me about the Witcher game, and I think it's important to note here, is The Witcher himself doesn't really care about all this politics stuff. He's really just trying to clear his name.
Yep. Yeah, he gets sucked up into all the events against his will, kind of, you know?
Yeah.
And like you said, he's just trying to clear his name because he was blamed for killing King Foltest, so.
Yeah. It's in his best interest to find the true
killer, Letho, the Witcher.
And, clear his name so he can go on with his witchering.
Fellow Witcher.
Yep.
Which is kind of weird. Chapter 3. Geralt arrives in Loch Muin with either Iorveth or Roach, depending on whom he assisted previously. The mages have called a meeting to establish a new magical ruling body known as the Conclave, and all royal leaders are at Loch Muin. Philippa Eilhart and Sheila de Tanserville intend to use the meeting to establish their own power, with the still entranced Saskia as leverage. If Geralt arrives with Iorveth, he must choose between rescuing Triss or rescuing Philippa, who is the only person capable of lifting the spell from Saskia, but who was captured and blinded by the king of Redania, and the spell over Saskia's mind is broken. If Geralt arrives with Roach, he must choose between rescuing Triss or rescuing kidnapped Princess Anne of Temeria, who was sent for protection to King Radvold of Redania or back to Temeria. Depending on the choice, the mage royal meeting is interrupted when Nilfgaardian forces arrive with Letho, who reveals the sorceress's entire plot, but Sheila escapes, or if Triss is rescued. Regardless of who Geralt assisted, the ambassador of Nilfgaard dies, the sorceress's plot is revealed, and either Roach is outlawed, and the rule of Temeria remains unsettled, or Iorveth is grievously wounded. Geralt chases down Sheila, who attempts to use her megascope, which is a magical apparatus used to do a variety of magical operations. She tries to use it to escape. Unaware that one of the diamonds in the excuse me, the megascope is flawed, Sheila is struck in the megascope. Geralt can either remove the faulty diamond or do nothing, the latter of which kills Sheila. Geralt either kills the dragon Saskia or breaks the spell over Saskia's mind. Big stuff there.
And another thing we should note, which is unique to us Westerners, this game is based on a lot of Eastern European fairy tales and mythology and stuff like that. Which most of our games that we're used to playing is based on Greek and
or Western Europe. England and France and Spain and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. A lot of stuff that we're not familiar with.
Right.
We're used to
King Arthur.
King Arthur and even like Greek and Roman mythology and stuff. But this is all like European, Slovakian stuff. I don't know. It's very interesting, especially because we have a little bit of Polish in our blood.
Yep.
So I feel like we can relate to it at that.
Yes, we can.
Weird ancestral level.
Deeper ancestral memory level. Yep. I hear you. Epilogue. If Triss was rescued, the Conclave is restored and the mages work to seal Loch Muin. If Triss was not rescued, a bloody pogrom of magic users occurs in Loch Muin and throughout the Northern Kingdoms. Geralt finally confronts Letho, the Kingslayer, who reveals a Nilfgaardian plot to destabilize the Northern Kingdoms. After hearing Letho's story, Geralt can either let him go or duel him to the death. Geralt then reunites with Triss and either Yorvith or Roche and sets off south. A concurrent plot of the game is Geralt's attempts to recover lost memories from his previous life. So that is how The Witcher 2 ends. And I'm excited to get there and see how it sets up for the third one.
It's got to be kind of disappointing for you to read through that like that, though.
Nah, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, I already kind of remembered it anyway. Like you, once I was going over, I was like, oh yeah, okay, I remember that. That sort of stuff. So gameplay wise, The Witcher 2 is pretty different from The Witcher 1. It's third-person view only. It doesn't have the above isometric cam like The Witcher 1 does. And definitely a lot more actiony combat than the first. Combat is also supplemented by Geralt's use of bombs, traps, throwing weapons, potions, and weapon and armor enhancements. I guess especially in the higher level difficulties, you really have to use a lot of that stuff. I'm only at normal difficulty. I'm not really having much trouble, but if you play the game on hard, you need the bombs and the traps and stuff set to kill your prey and stuff. So I guess it gets pretty strategic at higher levels. Spells too. That's another thing I didn't put on there, I don't think. But yeah, he's got a handful of spells that he uses called signs that do different things.
Fire. That's your fire. Your lightning. Your
there's a trap one. Yeah, there's a trap one. There's one where you can take control of someone's mind, and have them fight for you for 10 seconds or whatever, which is cool. But yeah, I'm playing The Witcher 2 right now. Absolutely love it. It's so good. The world is so interesting and like I said, it's I haven't seen Game of Thrones, but it's very Game of Thrones-esque in the political ramifications of everything that goes on. It's very cool. Very
a lot of different strings being pulled in different directions, and how it plays out is always interesting.
Yeah, and Geralt's trying to fight through it, but in a lot of cases he's just kind of along for the ride, which is fun.
Yeah, because we keep saying it, but he's his own person and marches by the beat of his own drum, but he gets roped into this giant political upheaval.
Yep.
And has no choice but to sort of untangle it.
Yeah.
And it's that in itself is humorous because of the character that he is and how that's so anti him.
Yep. Absolutely. We actually have a piece of feedback that's specifically on The Witcher. Do you want to cover that right now while we're talking about it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's keep it in the same segment.
Hold up. Now, I haven't seen any of our other feedback, so if anything else is on The Witcher, we'll get to it then, but this came in fairly early. I wanted to have it all copy and pasted in my notes, but I didn't. So this is from Bryce in Minnesota, who says, "Hey, Thumbstick athletes. First off, kudos to Dan for replaying The Witcher 1 and 2 prior to the release of The Wild Hunt. He had been hinting at playing both last couple of weeks, and each time I would think to myself, better get started on those, dude." So Dan, let us know how far you got or are getting on in 1 and 2. I'm not worried because those are your kind of games. You blew through Dragon Age Inquisition without breaking a sweat. As I said, I unfortunately had to skip the first one. I really wanted to play it. I really should have started like 2 months ago, but it's been so crazy the past like 3 weeks that I just haven't had time. And I started The Witcher 2 like maybe a week ago. But I didn't get to play it like at all this weekend. I had a bunch of stuff going on, and I played as much as I could last week, and then I started playing like a lot this week. So I think even if I have to lose some sleep a few nights, I'll probably power through The Witcher 2. I can't see myself wanting to start the third one without finishing the second one, carrying that stuff in. So. Anyway, about the upcoming Witcher 3, I'm planning on picking it up, but I'm completely new to the Witcher series, and my taste for the fantasy RPG has all but dried up. I absolutely loved Morrowind and Oblivion, but for some reason I was just not into Skyrim. I skipped the entire Dragon Age series, except I did play the Dragon Age 2 demo, mainly because I prefer the Fallout Mass Effect style RPG. I think I'm not into swords and slaying dragons anymore, but that being said, I have a few questions for the Thumbstick athletes before I make my purchase. First, I assume you play as the white hair guy, but is character customization, is there a female option? That's the character Geralt that we talked about. I don't know if you've listened to this point, but maybe we'll have to email him back answers to our questions so there's no spoilers,
Yeah.
Weapons and armor, all that stuff is customizable. I think you can kind of get Geralt like trimmed and stuff. I know there's dynamic beard growth. They made a big deal out of that. If you're adventuring in the wilds for a while and don't shave, I guess, your beard grows.
Like in Fable.
Yeah, a little bit like Fable. Yeah, which I think is cool. As far as the female option, there is a female character that you play in The Witcher. Should we talk about? That's not really a...
In The Witcher 3?
Yeah.
There's just a brief, or maybe a couple brief segments of playing as her.
Okay. It's The Witcher's Geralt's adopted stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Ciri is her name. That's not really a spoiler. That's kind of
it's people are talking about that in reviews and stuff.
Yeah. So you do get to play as her, but you don't get to actually like create your character.
No, I mean it's Geralt's story, so yeah. You're playing as Geralt.
Yeah, but armor, weapons, and stuff, that's all customizable. Both with stuff you equip, and then there's always like add-ons that you can put onto those weapons and stuff. Is the Witcher series like a dumbed-down Skyrim? Is it more Dragon Age than Elder Scrolls? It's really like neither, I wouldn't think. It's definitely more complex than Dragon Age. And Elder Scrolls, like, there's really not much story to Elder Scrolls. It's more about like living in that world and assuming a character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I could name one character in Skyrim. Like one character.
Not name.
No.
Me neither. Nope, I got nothing.
Yeah. So I guess it's a little. This one's going to be a little bit of both. It's going to have the openness of Skyrim, but the characters of Dragon Age. Because Dragon Age is all about the characters. Skyrim is all about the setting.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Witcher is going to be a blend, but with a lot better storyline, I think.
Yeah, and just according to the reviews that I read, it ties all that stuff together very well.
Yeah,
it marries the two, the openness and the storytelling and characters and stuff like that. It blends them very well.
Yeah, I totally agree. After playing 1 and 2, has the Witcher series become its own type of fantasy game that does anything differently than a Dragon Age or Elder Scrolls? We talked about it earlier. It's definitely the storyline. Way better than both of those two. Elder Scrolls story is always been a little weak anyway. I don't know. I like the story in Morrowind. Oblivion and Skyrim I could do without, but...
Yeah, I guess I never really thought about it, but you're right. If I had to pick one, I think Morrowind's story stands out the most.
Yeah.
But like you said, in the other ones, you're just like assuming a character who just kind of exists in this world, whereas in The Witcher, you're playing through a story.
Yeah. It's definitely closer to Dragon Age in that respect.
Yeah.
But like we talked about, it does a way better job of the whole Shades of Grey thing and not knowing what's going to happen. Like, you're helping one side, which may seem like a good choice, but something could happen a little ways down. And you're like, wow, I really shouldn't have helped this person or this group of people because they're doing some bad shit, and that's not always apparent right away like it is in Dragon Age. Dragon Age, everything's kind of spelled out for you.
There was I don't know if you did this quest, but there's a vendor in Flotsam that's selling like potions.
Yeah,
and it turns out maybe you remember more of the specifics than I do, but I remember there being like a moment where I had to be like, well, this guy's doing something illegal, but I think I'll just let him keep doing it.
Yeah, okay. What it was, there's a quest. So the villagers are upset about this guy because they think he's selling something like addictive, like a drug. But there's another merchant that wants you to investigate. He's like, I'm going to do a chemical analysis on what and see what exactly he's selling. So you can steal or threaten that merchant to get the recipe for the scientist guy. So that's the route I took. I didn't just do the villager thing. I intimidated him into giving me the recipe for it. So you go and like this guy's like, well, my lab's not actually in the town; it's just outside the town. I can't pay you until you bring it, and I do my analysis on it. I'm gonna wait on that.
Typical.
So Geralt's like, well, I chose to follow him to his lair, and you're assaulted and knocked unconscious, and you wake up in a cell, and he's like, I just took this, I did this as a precaution, and it turns out that this scientist guy wanted to steal the formula to make money off of it.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't see that coming at all. Like I thought he might double cross me, but not to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, he so I ended up killing all those people and
just wiping them out.
And doing the same as you, not doing anything to the original merchant. He was just selling stuff. So
go on, do your thing, make your living.
Yep. So yeah, there's that, and then he asks, "Is it more adult?" I can't argue with more nudity in games. Bring it on, blood and guts. Also, definitely more adult.
And I'm surprised. While we're on the topic, I'm surprised that more people aren't upset about the way sexuality and that side of things is portrayed in that game. Because in The Witcher 1, when you make love to a lady as Geralt, you get a card, like a playing card of them, like a pornographic playing card of that person that you hook up with.
Yeah.
Which seems very not 2000, whenever that game came out.
I think 2007 stands out to me. I'm not sure exactly.
Maybe not as big a deal then, but now I don't see a game getting away with something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, what did The Witcher 2 do? There was still a lot of
there's a lot of nudity
and misogynism.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean that's the story, that's the world, that's the character,
right.
and of Geralt and everything. I'm certainly not criticizing it. I'm just saying I'm surprised there's not more people that are criticizing it.
Right, definitely. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it from anyone.
I mean, I guess we'll wait and see what happens in The Witcher 3, but
right. Yeah, there's a lot more nudity. You should watch the launch trailer that just came out today. That'll give you an idea of the adultness, I guess you could say, of The Witcher. It's really, really good, really well done. Yeah, I won't say anymore. Just watch the launch trailer. Maybe
I didn't see it.
So good.
Put it on right now.
Make sure you have the music on a little bit too.
I'll wait till the break then.
Okay, yeah, it's really good. And last but not least, should I quit typing now and pony up the dough for the Wild Hunt on May 19th? Yes.
I think it's a safe bet at this point, to be honest with you, just from the reviews that I've read.
Yep. GameSpot said it's could be the best RPG of all time.
Oof.
So
it's high praise.
It's getting a lot of 9s. Destructoid gave it an 8.0, but I guess the reviewer never liked the Witcher series, so this is the first one he actually liked. So that's saying a lot.
Sure. And you definitely have to take that into account when you're reading the review,
Yep. There's also a ton of content, and it, like we talked about, it doesn't seem to be a lot of filler quests. Yeah, like are in Dragon Age, for example. And a lot of it is monster hunts, which
Oh yeah,
Witcher is known for.
Yeah.
was kill monsters. So
There's a great bit. One of the chapters in the book, the Last Wish, is Geralt and Dandelion fighting like a little demon devil,
uh-huh.
and the little demon lives like, I think it is a goat, but it's actually like a demon,
Mhm.
and it's so funny, and I hope that sort of experience in that book translates into this game where it's just this almost like a cartoon,
Yeah.
that sort of wackiness, but with Geralt's dry sarcasm and that sort of stuff. I hope that carries over into this game.
And Dandelion's kind of like
He's
you said, he's a dandy. He's a little, like over the top.
Yep.
Kind of. He's an interesting character too. I mean, all the characters are interesting. Even the characters like you don't see that much of.
Mm-hmm.
Game you want to know more about them because they all. It's almost like the developers for The Witcher like wrote huge backstories for all these characters, but you only see a little bit of that story, in the game.
Well, what helps with that is
It's there, the books.
the books. Yeah, you can draw on that.
Yep.
Everything's already created for you, and you can just draw the most interesting parts from that and
Yep.
put it in the video game. And like you said, you feel like every character you meet that there's a story behind them, and that's because there is.
Right. That you're just kind of scraping the surface with who you meet in the game,
Yeah.
which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I've got for The Witcher. So yeah, Bryce, I would say it's like Corey said, pretty safe bet at this point to pick up The Witcher 3. I think you'll be happy with it because I'm kind of in the same boat. I've prefer sci-fi RPGs, sci-fi games, way more anymore. But I think The Witcher is something special. So
Yeah, if you like the Elder Scrolls games and the Dragon Age games and any of the PC RPGs that are big now, knowing that The Witcher 3 is reviewing so well and you're into those kind of games, I'd say it's a safe bet to pick it up.
yep, agreed. Okay, well we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be back with Nibble Bits and our weeks right after this. Okay, I will text Will.
Where is Will?
He was just gonna get some food and then come over.
He's just hanging out.
I think so.
All right, I got to run to the restroom.
Alrighty.
I'll be right back.
Hey, Will.
Hi.
Were you just hanging out in the driveway?
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea.
I thought, well, you said about 9:30, so I got out at like 9:25 at the gym, and then I went to get food.
Nice.
So I just ate.
Nice. Yeah, sometimes it's nice to just have some alone time in your car.
Yep.
I used to go to Broome and just sleep in my car all day
Oh, I know people who did that too.
rather than go to class, just sleep in my car.
Just relax.
Yep.
I might be going back to school.
Really?
Might be.
When?
Next semester.
Nice.
I have to go talk to people there.
Right.
Like, I'm going to talk to my biology teacher that I had
Mm-hmm.
about some things.
Nice.
Because I'm kind of nervous being out for a year and, like, having that time off and, like, going right into a science.
Yeah. And working and going to school.
Yeah, and I'm going to try and move out after I go to Florida.
Oh.
Visit Johnny, I think.
Find an apartment.
Yeah, the brick apartments on Hooper are $650
Oh.
a month, and I have me, Tom, and maybe Ryan.
On the corner of Watson and Hooper?
No, it's by... No.
I was gonna say that's a rough.
No,
That's a rough.
the one by Wise, like the close one.
Oh, okay.
The brick ones.
Yeah, those are nice.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Fabrizio actually lives there. And he has for like 25 years or something like
Really?
that, which I didn't know.
No.
And he said when we call to use him as a recommendation.
Oh, cool.
Was this? What did he recommend?
The apartments that we want to move into.
Who's we?
Me, Tom, and maybe Ryan.
Wow. Will, getting older.
I know. I also told Dan I might be going back to school next semester.
All right. Good boy.
Yeah, you should.
What are you going to go for? Still the science?
I still want to go for pharmacology.
Do it.
Would Scott be willing to help me, like, if I needed help with, like, learning anything ever?
I'm sure he would. You wouldn't want to overwhelm him because he's a dad now, but...
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it right away. Like, I wouldn't...
Yeah, I'm sure he'd help you.
Okay.
I mean, you'd have to reciprocate it somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think you know what I mean.
Buying beer.
Will, you're looking extra muscular. Are you taking something?
No, if I did, I'd be huge.
What are you doing?
I've been eating more.
Yeah, there you go.
I've been getting a lot more carbs and a little bit more fat and more protein, so I've been putting on a little more weight because I did a really bad job when I started. When I started doing my cut, you know, I was doing 1/4 of a cup of rice, which I was getting like 50 carbs. I was supposed to be getting close to 200.
Yeah.
So like I killed my body, and I wasn't getting nearly enough fat.
Yeah, you probably, to do your workout, you're just burning all your muscle.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah.
You didn't have anything in you to burn for energy.
Exactly, and I was doing that interval training every day, so that was I was burning like 500, 600 calories for 30 minutes. So like I was just wasting away.
Yeah.
So when I actually started getting help, and he's like, "Oh, you've messed up," because I'd messed up on the rice was the main one. I thought I took it as the 1/4 of a cup, uncooked.
Oh, it's cooked.
So it's cooked is what we go by. So like I should have been getting a cup twice a day, but I was getting 1/4 of a cup, so like 1/2 a cup a day.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
which is crazy how much that changes.
Yeah.
Are you suddenly more confident, and are the ladies talking to you more now?
I never have confidence, so it's a Mirtha thing.
I hear you.
That's true.
We just kind of there.
Go by the flow.
Yeah.
Go with the flow.
That's why I drink.
Oh, Corey, I realized last night that I can't handle playoff hockey.
I don't know how I fell asleep for the third period. Well, let's talk about it on the podcast because I don't have anything to talk about.
That's right. That's my week.
I would have been shitting myself.
Oh.
And Sophie is in the bathroom, so I still need to run pee, but we can get started. I'll just sneak out.
This will be short, probably. I don't have a ton to talk about. I think the rest of the episode is going to be short because I don't have a ton to talk about.
If you wanted to wait a couple of minutes, it's fine for you to use the bathroom. I don't really care. I work at 11:30, so I can.
Yeah, but I work at 7.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we'll get started.
Although it's what we like to call Fuck It Friday.
Oh, nice.
You know how that goes. They ask you get asked to do something. Fuck it.
Nice. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 199 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. We are now in our Nibble Bit segment. Will, welcome.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Will.
As I talked about at the beginning of the episode, Will didn't want to come in for all the Witcher spoilers, so
Because I plan on playing it soon. I'm waiting until I move back into my my room. I start playing it
next week.
Yeah, so it'll probably be Wednesday when I start.
Cool. Sounds good. Do you want to get started with Nibble Bits?
Sure, Dan. I have two. The division is delayed to the first quarter of 2016. That's I think it was Eric who on our predictions episode said that it was going to get delayed. And everybody's pretty worried about this game, especially with Ubisoft's track record recently.
Yeah.
There's memes on the internet saying, "Please God, make this game good."
Yeah. There's that for Battlefront too.
Exactly.
Oh no, it was something like don't fuck this up.
Yeah,
for Battlefield, please. Or did you hear me? I said please don't fuck this up.
Yeah,
something like that.
It's something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
with the picture of the cover.
Yeah.
I I hope this game is good. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
But
I don't have a lot of faith in Ubisoft anymore. I really don't.
see, I had a little bit more because of Far Cry 4.
Okay. Yeah, I
Um,
still haven't played that.
But I mean, we're gonna get into it. Like Assassin's Creed. I think somebody tweeted something about the new Assassin's Creed. Just
Don't care.
yeah, it's just like they screwed those games up, I think. And then Far Cry is the only and Child of Light really are the only two things that I like from them now.
Child of Light was fantastic.
Great game. And my next one is Ratchet and Clank is coming out on the PlayStation 4 next year. Apparently, there's a movie coming out, and the game is going to come out around the time of it. And it was in April, I think. I saw that the movie got announced for. Maybe it was April 26th or something like that. But I guess the new game for PlayStation 4 is going to be a reimagination of the original Ratchet and Clank series, like the first game. So Ratchet and Clank is a series that I've always kind of thought was cool, but I never had a PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to play it.
Nice.
So that interests me a little bit, especially if it's like sort of a reimagination of the first game. So I'll be basically starting on the ground floor again, playing them.
Nice.
But that's all I had, Dan.
Okay. Corey, what do you got for Noble Bits?
Just a few shorties here. Per Nintendo, there will be no Nintendo NX news at E3 this year. Nintendo NX is, of course, their new console in the works. I wasn't surprised by this because Nintendo actually came out and said that the earlier announcement for the NX was just to allay fears when the mobile announcements came out. Just to let everybody know, we're still working on a console. We're still a console developer. Right. These smartphone games will be ancillary.
Right, different.
So I wasn't surprised by that, and it's probably way too early to hear any news about it anyway. It's the type of thing where we'll hear something, and by the time the console actually comes out in 5 years or whatever,
2018 or 2019,
it's irrelevant at that point. I don't want to know anything.
Yeah,
this generation has, I hope, a lot of legs left in it, but
yeah,
we shall see. Of course. Speaking of that, Nintendo plans to release approximately 5 smartphone games by 2017. This is according to an investors meeting Nintendo had. They stated that 5 may seem like very few, but that's because they want hits. They want them all to be hits. They don't want crap.
They're not going to fling poo at a wall and see what sticks.
They'll probably still fling poo at a wall, see if it sticks, but they'll try to make it extra sticky.
Okay. Not fling Zingapoo.
No. They'll fling diarrhea at the wall.
Or king.com poo at the wall.
Yeah. Zinga pitches.
I'm interested to see what they come up with.
Me too. Because they're going to use Nintendo characters. It's just a matter of what they do. Are we going to have a Mario Endless Runner kind of thing? Or like a Mario Match 3? Probably.
I hope it's a little bit better than just like a card game.
Yeah.
Derivative of someone else's game idea.
Yeah.
Just want to see them come up with something new.
Well, you know who nailed the platformer is the Ubisoft with Rayman Fiesta Run and the other one. Those games are awesome on mobile phones.
Yep.
So I don't know. Like you said, it would just be copying. Hopefully, they can come up with something new and unique and fun and crazy.
That's what I'm hoping, because I'm underwhelmed by most mobile games. So,
Johnny Highwind in the chat says Mario Crush Saga. I think you're probably right.
Yeah,
that's what we're gonna see. So, Will, I only saw the headline, didn't get a chance to follow up on it. Maybe you can help me. Johanna is coming to Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah. So what happened with this was. The week before they do a new patch, when a new hero's coming out, they do a skin video and they show off like the skins and mounts that are going to be coming into the game. So they showed off Kael'thas's new stuff. And then right after that, they showed off the Crusader, which is a new hero. And everybody was kind of wondering what was going on with that. And they added her to the website that they use for their build calculators to have builds for everybody, like the different characters. The sites that you go on to see. Mm-hmm. So they added her and Kael'thas to that, and everyone was like, did they announce like a new hero coming, this new patch, without announcing it? So people did data mining on the website and found out that she's coming the 6th or the 2nd of June when the game comes out.
Huh.
And it's weird because in the hero progression thing in your profile,
Yeah.
you can go through all the heroes and there's like 3 pages. She's on there, which is weird. And then somebody said when the patch started, this is on Reddit, they didn't post any proof of it, but they said that she was in the game and you could queue up as her and someone played a quick match as her. But then like the game went down again and then she was taken out. So I guess she's the next hero, which is pretty cool. Diablo. And she's a warrior, which is different. I'm tired of the Warcraft assassins now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
so yeah, that's Johanna.
So that's how that happened.
Yeah.
And speaking of more rumors and speculation, according to a report, we can expect loads of Fallout 4 content at E3.
Did you hear about
Good. It's about goddamn time.
Did you hear about the guy who on his LinkedIn did the Fallout 4 cinematic trailer, listed it, and people went nuts?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's Guillermo del Toro's production company
Oh, okay.
that was doing the cinematic trailer.
Uh-huh.
And, this article I have up right now describes it pretty well, that the update has since been removed, the update to the LinkedIn profile that said he worked on the Fallout 4 trailer.
He's also probably been sacked.
Or not hired anywhere.
Right.
But Murata Studios won't have news outlets reporting on the matter. Murata Studios requested that Destructoid pull their article on the subject, stating that they had broken a non-disclosure agreement by reporting on it. But
sued.
yeah, like this article says, apparently they have never heard of the Streisand effect, where an attempt to hide something only makes it more public.
Right.
Never a good thing. It's fascinating to me how people who work at these big companies still don't really understand how the internet works.
Yeah. Not just that, but like the secrets that are well kept. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when a company is able to surprise people with things, like, how many hundreds of people work on these things nowadays, and something didn't get out on whatever it was.
I think it kind of shows the dedication to the Fallout fans that they were this starved for news that they found somebody listed that on their LinkedIn and freaked out.
Yeah, I bet you there's a guy someplace on the internet that scours the web every day for Fallout 4 news.
Mm-hmm.
Done it for years, and finally, when that little nugget landed, he's like, "Aha,
Hit.
got it." Yep.
And usually it's fake and somebody is trolling everybody,
Right.
but this time it was real because we're close.
Well, LinkedIn too. That's that's not
a troll
a
site.
rinky-dink site. Yeah. So
So that's exciting. I can't wait for this game.
yeah,
I remember somebody saying that expect 2016 release date too.
I could see that
Yeah.
early next year, maybe, or fall next year.
Yeah.
I mean, it was another thing on the internet that somebody said that he has a friend who worked at Bethesda as like intern, and he said that they were working on it and expected 2016, and now he's actually working on the project and won't say anything to his friend. So once again, it's the internet, but
Interns.
Gotcha.
Always spilling the beans.
yeah.
What else you got, Corey?
That's all I have for Nibble Bits. It was it's been a crazy last couple of weeks.
Yep, agreed. I got 2 nibble bits. The first, surprise, a new Assassin's Creed game was announced earlier this week.
Woo!
It will be called Assassin's Creed Syndicate and will be set in Victorian London in the year 1868. It will be single player only, as the dev team wanted to be able to create the largest open world possible. Syndicate's map will apparently be 30% larger than Assassin's Creed Unity's Paris. So,
You know what's better than one Assassin's Creed in a year?
2 Assassin's Creed, 3 Assassin's Creeds.
Yeah, 3. We got 3 last year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a Liberation HD got released. The HD remaster.
Is it the Vita one?
Yeah. On Steam got released. And then Rogue. Well, I think it was last year. And then Rogue and Unity.
Ugh. Is this the one that
Crazy.
now protagonist?
I think there is at least a playable female character in it.
Because I know that was a big
That
deal.
was a big deal last year. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't really read up on the details. I don't care that much. If it's when it's getting ready to come out and it seems like it's going to be awesome, I might if they rework combat, that's really my biggest thing, and they need a little work on the parkour stuff. But
If this game is getting 9s and 10s, I'll buy it.
yeah, I'm not going to pay any attention to anything about it until it's close to coming out. So,
And if they don't have let the people put out their reviews the day before, I will not buy it.
Yeah, The Witcher Wild Hunt reviews are already out. The embargo was up a week early, which is awesome.
Yeah, I got it. It was a 92 at Metacritic when I last saw it,
Very high reviews,
which is good. And the weird thing is Destructoid gave it the lowest score that I could find.
got an 8.
Yeah, and Polygon gave it a lower score too.
Of course they did.
Well, they're
the hipsters.
they
No,
were upset about a few things. Dude.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, there it is. We were just talking about that.
We're talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised it was Polygon either. That
Do you
had
want
some
me to
issues.
say? Eric told me this while I was at work today. They're complaining about something about female portrayal. I think
Oh,
it was.
yeah,
in the
yeah.
game. Then there was no black people in the game. I think was another one that they complained about.
Not surprised it was Polygon that did that.
Because video game worlds need to reflect reality
All the time.
all the time, or else they're bad.
Yeah. Ugh. I wish I didn't know that. Now I'm going to be angry.
Well, we said it like what 20 minutes ago. We were having this conversation. Wait and
Yeah.
see who's going to be upset about stuff in that game.
Yeah. And Destructoid gave it an 8. It was Chris Carter that reviewed it, but he hadn't liked any of the other Witcher games.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, I actually really did like this one, but
Okay, that
I
makes
think
sense
they
then.
still gave it an 8.0.
Which is still good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with people like admitting up front. I don't really, I never really got the Witcher games.
Yeah.
This one's okay. It's an 8, whatever. Like that's a valid review to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
As long as you disclose that,
Yeah. And then my last nibble bit, Odell Beckham Jr. of the New York Football Giants will be the cover athlete for this year's Madden, beating out Rob Gronkowski of the Patriots for the honors.
One of the guys I work with comes into lunch today and he's like, I am pissed. And I was like, why are you pissed? And he's like, Odell Beckham Jr. And I was like, well, what did he do? And he's like, he started saying, I can't remember what he said, but whatever he said indicated to me, I was like, oh, Madden cover? And he's like, yup. And I was like, oh boy, sorry about that. But he also pointed out that the other wide receivers that were on the Madden cover had really great seasons.
Right.
There's only 2 others. Fitzgerald, and I can't remember who the other one was. But when they were on the cover, they did really well.
Oh, gotcha.
It was Calvin Johnson. I think.
Calvin Johnson, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, that could be good.
Yeah. I think Beckham's going to be one of those players that's going to have nagging injuries his whole career. He was kind of like that this year. He's going to be great when he plays, but I think he's going to miss 3 or 4 games every season.
He sadly was the reason the Giants won games this year.
Yeah. He was the only reason, for the most part, they won football games this year.
Which sucks. I wanted us to do as bad as possible.
Right. But that's all I've got for Nibble Bits. How was your week, Corey?
Busy week. I did a couple things I've never done before. I played beach volleyball Monday night.
Nice.
Wow.
Monday night. So Monday here in the Northeast was very hot and humid.
Oh, yeah.
It was almost 90.
Yeah.
And my current place of employment, I'm a groundskeeper. So I was outside all day in the heat and humidity, and it was probably the closest I've ever been to heat stroke.
Yeah.
I don't know what heat stroke is like, but we were really rushing to get everything done, and we were doing a lot of mowing. It was our first mow of the year, just this past Monday. So everything was really long, and I had a little push mower that wasn't self-propelled, so I was like pushing it up hills and down hills, and by the end of the day, my last 45 minutes or so, I was really dogging it. But I had to finish this one piece of land. Long story short, I also had to play volleyball that night because I committed to being a sub for a team. So I get out of work just absolutely exhausted, take a cold shower. I text Chris, who has been on this podcast before and recruited me to be their sub for this volleyball team, and said, hey, what time's the match tonight? Come to find out, the match isn't until 9:30 p.m. And I was just like, oh man, if I had known that, I wouldn't have committed to it. That's because around 9:30, I'm thinking about getting ready for bed.
Right.
So I was like, all right, great. Starts pouring rain, storming outside. I text Chris. I'm like, hey, is this thing gonna get canceled? Because it's also like a 20-minute drive for me to get where it is.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I'll check and see. He texts me back, oh, no, it's still on. We're still going. And I was just like, oh, man, I really just want to go to bed, but I can't back out. You know, I committed to being the sub. I can't back out. So I go, and I drive my girlfriend's car. I currently don't own a car. I ride my bike everywhere I need to go. But I had to use my girlfriend's car because it's so far away. But her wipers are bad, first off. It's rainy out. And her lights are really bad. I don't know if they're too dim or if they're angled down. So it's just the perfect storm of me not being able to see out the window. Oh. And I'm taking like wrong turns, even though I'm listening to the GPS. Like I can't see lines on the road, so I'm in lanes I don't want to be in. I took like 3 or 4 wrong turns, and by the time I finally get to the bar, I'm just a pissed off mess.
Yeah,
where this volleyball game is, and it's pouring rain at that point, but. We take our shoes off, we stand out in the rain, within a couple minutes it stops raining, and we have a great time playing volleyball. Even though it was 9:30 at night and I was exhausted and didn't end up getting home till about 11. And then, of course, I was covered in sand and got sand everywhere. But it was a lot of fun, and I was glad that I did it.
Nice.
It's a good way to do something fun in the middle of the week is to participate in one of those things and just get together with friends. We didn't have any beers or anything like that, but we had a good time. We got schooled, I should say, playing volleyball, but it was still fun. We had a good time. So there's that. And then I feel like I had something else to talk about, but now I forgot what it was. Hockey. Will probably wants to talk some hockey.
Yeah, because that's really the only thing my week that's interesting, actually, is hockey.
Mm-hmm. New York Hockey Rangers.
Yeah. I had to leave during the overtime. Because of anxiety.
What do you mean you had to leave? Set the scene.
I was nervous. For whatever reason, this year I'm worse. Like watching hockey games, like I get so nervous and like anxiety, and I'm just like, I don't know why I'm like this. I was like last year, like I was kind of like it, but this year it's just been worse. I don't know if it's just because I have no confidence in the Rangers for whatever reason. It's probably because they don't win a game by more than 1 goal.
Yeah.
And when the game started in overtime, I just walked out and said I can't do it, and got food.
That's why I started drinking toward the end of the Predators run in the playoffs.
Yep. And I left my phone in the car, but I wouldn't shut it off because text messages come up on it, and I didn't want to like read a text message before I saw the score. I just wanted to whatever. But I saw Allison had sent me a message, all exclamation points, and I was like, oh. So I checked, and I saw Stepan's score. I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
It was, came right to him.
Oh, it was
wide open net. It was definitely a gift. Just glad he didn't miss it.
Nothing's better than when watching the team celebrate after that. Like, if you're a fan of the team.
Right? Yeah. I will say, though, I kind of felt for the Caps a little bit. They had a great team and a great season. And even Alex Ovechkin, he gets a lot of crap. Some of it's warranted, but not all of it. I kind of felt bad for him a little bit.
I did too, because people ran with the headline that he guaranteed victory too.
That's such bullshit.
And he did what any captain would do.
Well, yeah, you go into the game thinking you're going to win it.
Yeah.
Athlete.
Yeah,
and
that's ridiculous.
And like when he scored the goal, I was like, good for him. As much as I was like, that sucks, but I was like, good for him for scoring. So like now he just doesn't look like a total idiot.
Right? Yeah,
because they ran with that headline.
Yeah. Yep, he did his part. But even so, at the end of the series, like there wasn't anybody I hated on the Caps. You know how like last year, all those series the Rangers played, I hated everybody on those teams after the series were over. Didn't really get that with the Caps in this series. Like I thought it was a pretty well played, fair fight, and the Rangers just happened to come out on top. It could have been either team series. Went to Game 7 and the Rangers won in overtime.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, how are you feeling against Tampa, Corey?
Nervous.
Me too. This is the way I justify it, though, is like Tampa. So if the Rangers lose, I'm not going to be furious.
Yeah.
So.
I think I think there will be some issues once the Tampa series is over. I think there'll be some players that I really hate.
Callahan, Boyle, Strawman.
I think I mean, San Luis going to play in a playoff series in Tampa, and same like Callahan and Boyle and Strawman coming back to play in New York. And where's Anissa? No, he's in Columbus.
He's in Columbus now, yeah.
But I don't know. And Steven Stamkos and Tyler Johnson are just always threats.
So is Nikita Kucherov.
Kucherov, yeah. I mean, I don't know. The Rangers, I think they need a miracle really to win. I don't think Henrik Lundqvist can do it on his own again. They're gonna have to be able to score more than 2 goals in a game to beat Tampa Bay.
Exactly, because Tampa Bay is just scary on everything.
Yep. They need Matt Zuccarello back.
They do. What's his issue? I heard broken orbital bone, I've heard concussion.
I think both.
Boy, he really, he got messed up.
At least Klein's back, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Short up the defense a bit. And then there's Ryan Callahan, who just had an appendectomy yesterday and practiced today.
Yeah, of course he did.
Good for him. Well, he's the same guy who broke all his leg and continued playing.
Yeah. Was that sequence in that when he was on the penalty kill and he blocked like 4 shots?
It was. I remember people saying that he broke his leg after. I was like, whew, dear God, he blocked a shot after.
Oh, yeah.
He is all heart.
And I'm not even going to make a guess who's going to win the Western Conference game.
Oh, that'll be a great series, too.
Because Chicago completely destroyed Minnesota, which I had no idea that they were going to do that.
Yeah.
Dominate them like that.
Dismantled Minnesota.
I think Chicago will win it. If I had to bet, I'd bet on Chicago.
Yeah. Because the Rangers have the best odds of winning the Cup right now. So
Still?
I think so. That's what Wyshynski said today, unless he was going by series. I don't remember. But
Okay.
yeah.
And our thoughts on hockey?
Hockey is good.
Yeah. All right. Do anything else, Corey? Is that it?
I know there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about, but go ahead.
Okay. Will, what about you? What do you got?
I mean, I played some games that I haven't really played. I played Smite, Mario Kart 8, and more Story of Seasons. I'm probably not going to talk too much Heroes of the Storm this week because, 1, Eric's not here, and 2, because we're probably going to be doing an episode on it fairly soon.
Yeah, when it comes out, after it comes out, we'll do an episode on it, definitely.
So I'll probably just say 1 or 2 things about the new hero, and that'll probably be it.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's it for me, really.
Yeah, for me, I've just been playing The Witcher 2 as much as I possibly can. The kids have been absolutely running me ragged the past few weeks.
They got spring fever.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that, a little bit of, with the weather being nice and being outside. I really don't like being outside very much, and that's all my son wants to do. And my daughter's at an age where you can't look away from her for 10 seconds or else she's climbing something or putting something in her mouth that she's
eating
not,
scissors.
Yeah, well, not scissors, but she's absolutely into everything. And my son was never like that. Like, you could sit him in an area with a toy and he would sit there for forever and play with whatever toy it was.
Mm-hmm.
But she's ambitious and feisty and all that fun stuff. So she's going to be a handful, I think, when she gets older. But so I haven't, because of that, I haven't been staying up as late playing video games. By the end of the day, I'm just like, oh my God, I just want to go to sleep. Yeah, just absolutely drained. So, but I've been fighting through it to play The Witcher 2. So
That a boy.
Yeah, I will finish it by the time the third one comes out.
Will, why haven't you've had so much time to play The Witcher?
I honestly haven't, since I started working at Wegmans, I honestly haven't had a ton of time to play a lot of games because I have to balance between like going to work a lot, the gym. I've got like friends living at home right now, so like I'm trying to play video games with them. I need to sleep like 8 hours like we've talked about, so I'm not like a miserable human being. I think I'm going to try, as I said, I'm going to try and play through them like Wednesday. Start like playing them.
Doesn't the game come out on Tuesday?
Yep. I figured the 3 of you would be playing it, so.
That's true. Dan and I are going to be fighting over it.
No, because I can't play before 10 o'clock at night for the most part.
That's true,
Corey,
and I'm getting ready for bed around then.
Exactly.
Wait, can he sign into my GOG Galaxy thing and then
Probably.
download it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
You should do that.
Yeah, download Will's.
Maybe I will.
We'll have to fight over it.
You can preload it now. I did that already.
I preloaded mine too.
So yeah, I'll give you the
It's ready to go.
I'll give you the GOG Galaxy stuff.
Did you get into
there.
God Galaxy?
It's open.
Yeah, you
never-
just gotta. I actually got into it a while ago.
I never got a code.
I bought some game on GOG and I got into the closed beta with it before, and I like downloaded it but never did anything with it.
Because I read that they were doing waves of invites. Like you go on the website and sign up, and then they were going to do waves, and I never got one.
Yeah, it's open now. The only reason I know it's open is because they said you can preload The Witcher now in GOG Galaxy, and I was like, you can? And then
I'll have to go download it then.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I kind of like it.
Damn it. Wish I'd known. Oh well. Okay. That's it. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with what we played and probably feedback right after this. I got to pee. Then we can get started. We might be done at like 11:15.
Oh, that would be awesome.
I don't have anything to talk about for what I played. So.
Yeah, I'm not going to say a whole lot either.
Boom, 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 boom. So, Will, what's going on, bud?
Nothing. Just doing the same old stuff.
Hey, you want to come up and party in Auburn next Friday?
If I partied.
I'm trying to figure out. I don't know.
What are you
Maybe
trying to
just
figure out?
Wait. I don't know. Too much
Corey.
to explain. What?
I'm gonna come up and visit, but I have to figure out a day where I get out early on the weekend and then have the next weekend day off. And my schedule hasn't been matching up with that at all.
Yeah.
And I already asked for a week off in July.
Oh, where are you going?
Florida.
With who? To visit Johnny?
Yeah, to visit Johnny. We're going to Warped Tour there, which is an awful idea, but
Oh, yeah, you're going to get sweat on.
I'm probably gonna die.
Hydrate.
Is it really hot there? It's super humid.
And like when you're in the middle of a crowd, it's 20 degrees hotter.
Oh, yeah.
East.
I had, I forget, one of the concerts I went to, it was like that, like so hot, and I started getting sick.
Mm-hmm.
Like nauseous and lightheaded, and I was like, oh my God.
That's
I thought I was going to barf, and I just went to the back where there was nobody and breathed some fresh air and recovered, but it was
that's
bad.
exactly what I'm afraid of. I'm hoping there's a light rain that day.
There you go.
But I told my place of employment that I was going to visit the grandparents. Because I was going to go down July 3rd, but I guess that's the busiest day of the year. So I was like, yeah, I know it's the busiest day of the year. Like, I'll leave after my shift on July 4th, if that's all right. And like, I'll just give you the 4th. I was like, thank you.
Nice.
So,
Can't go wrong with that.
yeah, so.
Well, you are going to visit the grandparents, right?
Completely.
Yeah.
I think I said before they kick it. How I worded it.
All right, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 199 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. We are now in what we played. I have nothing to talk about. The only thing I've played this week is The Witcher 2, which I've talked a lot about. Love it. So we'll move on to Corey.
I actually was going to ask you, Dan, but since
Yeah.
you haven't played it, I installed your Invisible Ink.
Oh, nice.
That game looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about Invisible Ink.
But you
I
haven't
had
played it
to buy
yet,
it.
huh?
It was only like $15.
Yeah.
I think it's, they had it on special because it just came out of early access, and then because it's a game by Clay, who did Don't Starve and Mark of the Ninja, I got a discount for having Mark of the Ninja too. So I think it was like 30% off. So I bought it. But yeah, it's supposed to be like a mix between XCOM and stealth game. It's a roguelike stealth tactical RPG type of game.
Yeah,
So
and you
and
kind
got
of
great reviews from a lot of different places. So
yeah. And then I saw you mentioned that you got it, and I was like, oh, I'll be playing that one. Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much. Steam family sharing is a wonderful thing.
yes, it is.
So yeah, I just installed that. Didn't get a chance to play it. Yeah, I finally played the new Mario Kart 8 tracks and played them all on 200cc. I don't like 200cc.
I can understand why.
It's not that it's too hard. It is really hard. I think I've finished like 8th in one of the circuits and like 10th in another of the circuits. I had been drinking, so that might have influenced it a little bit, but it's so fast that it's too crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like there's like an ebb and a flow of the race. It's just mayhem, and like you fall off a ledge, but then you take one turn really well and have a mushroom, and all of a sudden you're back in first, and or the other way around, you're in first, and then you like take a turn bad, and then you're in 8th, and you're like, oh man, and everything you like those your place just changes so quickly and rapidly that you really just gotta hit gold and be in first at the end of the race, which is really hard to do.
Yeah, see, for me, like I found that if you run a clean race, like if you get your lines down just right, run a clean race, if you don't fly off a cliff or hit too many walls or anything, that you'll finish in first. But that's if you don't really get hit by a lot of stuff too. If you get hit by a lot of stuff, there's not much you can do about that.
Yeah. I mean, and you're definitely better at Mario Kart than I am. So
right.
Of course, that sounds good on paper to me, but in practice, I don't know if that's gonna happen. But I did also use characters that I had never used before, because I wanted to try the new Dry Bowser and what's his name, the villager character. But I really like some of the courses. Neo Bowser City was my favorite.
Yeah. The rain.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's cool, and like all the neon signs and all that stuff going on. I love all that stuff. I really liked Electrodome.
Yeah.
From the previous tracks.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I just really like that stuff. I'm trying to think if there's any that I didn't like.
You should try it with your actual like racing build.
Yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is use my build and go back to 150cc and just figure things out, and then maybe I'll try and go back to 200cc. It's crazy how fast it is. It's silly.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think if there's anything that I didn't like. I didn't really like the small one that was 7 laps.
Oh, Baby Park.
Yeah, not for me.
I could see that.
Didn't care much for it.
That one I think would suck on 200cc because it's too fast. That one's more like I said. When I talked about it, that's a fighting one. That's you got to be good with shells and banana peels and stuff.
There's people everywhere.
That one, yeah.
At all times.
Yep.
Not to mention you're getting hit by bullet bills from people in last place and stuff like that because you're right there.
So close, yeah.
Yep. And then the one I looking at, I thought I'd like the most, the Metro one.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for that much.
Okay.
Once I actually raced on it, but again, I kept slamming into the rail car and into the wall and getting turned around, and then
that was my least favorite of the new tracks, was the subway one.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. But what a great way to do DLC. Nintendo very rarely do I buy DLC, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that I just don't play games long enough for me to use DLC. But, Nintendo right off the bat, the value proposition was so good, and I enjoyed the game so much that I knew I'd keep it for long enough for DLC to be worth my while. And like we talked about last podcast or the one before, you knew right away what you were getting when you plopped down that $12 or however much it was for the 2 bits of DLC content. Great way to do DLC.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, with Nintendo, you can always expect a certain level of polish.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yep.
So it was really easy to put down that money for the DLC. And they spaced it out perfectly, too, like kind of got away from Mario Kart for a little bit, and then the DLC comes out, and I start playing again, and then same thing happens again, brings it right back in, and, you remember why you love it so much, and you want to keep playing it, and there you go.
Yeah, agreed.
Didn't try online, though.
Oh, online's so fun.
Yeah.
Damn it.
All right. Rocksmith 2014, I just booted up recently again. I borrowed Will's guitar because my guitar doesn't really work anymore. It was kind of a pain getting everything going, and I couldn't connect to the Ubisoft servers to play and stuff. If you don't know what Rocksmith is, it's pretty much Guitar Hero, but you're playing the songs with a real guitar, and once you get up to master difficulty or whatever, you're playing the song on your real guitar, and you can unplug from the game and plug into an amp and play the song. So I played. There was one song that I 100%ed way back when, and I tried to play it again and just couldn't remember any of it. So I had to start from scratch. But I was able to, within the span of maybe 2 or 3 hours, reteach myself that whole song all over again. And it was really fun to play that. And you put good set of headphones on, turn up the volume all the way, and you're jamming.
Nice.
And it's fun. And I think I said this at the time, and I'll reiterate it here. I don't think it's good for people that are just starting playing guitar. I think it's good for people who have a basic idea and can maneuver their fingers just enough, and just learn to play songs and get better just by playing songs. That's who I think it's for. I mean, I don't know that because I didn't start from scratch when I played Rocksmith. But
that would be something I would do is start from scratch and see how it works for me. Because never picked up I picked up a guitar, but I never learned how to play it at all.
Well, what's cool is you can just keep trying the song over and over again, like in Guitar Hero, or you can do, I think Guitar Hero and Rock Band had this kind of feature, but you can do what's called riff repeater, and you choose a segment of the song and you just keep playing it over and over again until you master that one little segment. And it could be a easy difficulty, hard difficulty, all the way up. And then once you master it, it'll bump it up a little bit, and you'll play an extra couple of notes, and it'll just keep doing that. And you can set the speed. So because I had played the song before, it was just a matter of remembering how everything goes. So I set the speed at like 30%, turned the difficulty up all the way, and just played the full song at 30% of the speed.
Right.
So it was slow enough that I could read the music as it came down and remember the chords and stuff. So I mean, just that little tool in itself is a great way to learn how to play a song. And I was looking at some, unfortunately, because I couldn't connect to the Ubisoft servers, I couldn't buy any of the music, which is stupid. I don't know what their problem is with the servers, or maybe it's me, but I Googled it, and a lot of people have that issue and had no luck resolving it. So, I was looking at some of the download packs you can buy of songs, and I kind of wanted the Matchbox 20 pack. I think that'd be fun to play. Mm-hmm. The music in that isn't great. I kind of wish it was more, I don't know, alternative rock rather than the metal, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not into that stuff too much. But that's Rocksmith. It's fun. I recommend it. And then I finally played Wolfenstein: The New Order. Maybe only an hour of it, but that game's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's really cool, and I sort of had the realization that I like first-person shooters. I just don't like playing them online with other people.
I'm the same way. I love the story first-person shooters. Like we've talked about the Metro games, BioShock. Yeah. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I'll play it. I liked like Titanfall, but I only get so much out of playing the same maps and stuff over and over and over again. Yeah. Like after I was done with it, I was done with it. And that was it.
It gets to a point where you're just like, this is just doing the same thing over and over again, and
right.
I don't know. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose.
Right.
But just how crazy over the top that game is so much fun. Like shooting down the big mechs with giant guns, and even that intro scene when you're in the
plane,
the bombers, and getting all ripped to shreds, and you're jumping from plane to plane. It's just so over the top and crazy. And even because it is like an alternate history kind of, you still get that little bit of 1940s Nazi. You still get a little dose of history, even though it's not really based in history at all.
Yeah, basically the Nazis win World War II.
Yeah,
and it's that's kind of the basis for.
And they have all these crazy war machines and stuff like that. But really, really enjoying it. Having a lot of fun playing that game. I'll probably play through it. I don't know how long it is.
It's not very long. I think it took me like 12 or 13 hours.
Okay.
BioShock length.
Yeah, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Does it ramp up? I mean, does the craziness get?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's
All
good.
right.
It's good stuff. I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And I don't have anything else or anything new to talk about. I'm trying to think if I got anything new, but I just don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm always picking up Humble Bundles here and there and stuff like that, but
Yeah, I just picked up Invisible Ink because it was such a good price. I couldn't pass that up.
oh, you know what I got? Kotaku wrote an article about this game. I think it was Kotaku. It might have been Silicon Era. About For the Love of God. It's that game that's like Papers, Please, but you play like a god judging people at the pearly gates.
That's cool.
That is cool.
And it's free to download.
Oh, nice.
You can probably just do a Google search for it. It's For the Love of God, and it looks like it has a pretty cool art style too. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. I just need some free time to do it. Maybe tomorrow. I've got free time, so
Nice.
maybe I'll try it tomorrow and talk about it on our 200th episode.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Sounds
all.
good.
That's all I've done.
What do you got, Will?
I played both of the Mario Kart DLCs. I had not really. I played a little bit of the first one when I was in New York City visiting Corey, but I actually hadn't played it a lot, like you had or Corey had. So I played both of them. I did 50cc and I 3-starred the 4 cups, and then I did 100cc and I 3-starred the cups. I'm working my way to 150. I've done 1 cup. I'm going for a beaten game, basically.
Oh yeah.
And play through the new tracks, and all the tracks are really good. There's a couple. When I say I don't like these tracks, I like them, just
Right.
not as much as the other ones. And the one that a few that I didn't like was the one with the green and yellow road and the ice.
Yeah, Ice Climbers, whatever, something.
The
I
ice
didn't care.
road or something,
Yeah.
maybe.
I didn't care for that one either.
And I love like tracks that are snow and ice, but like this really like wasn't. It
Yeah.
was just kind of a boring.
Yeah, couple of loops and that's it.
Yeah. I don't
didn't
know.
find that one very interesting either.
No, that I kind of don't like racing on that one that much, but that one, and there was. I'm trying to remember what it was called on the new ones. Oh, it's the subway one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a hard time on that one too.
Okay.
And it's not that I don't like this one; it's just I'm bad at this one. Like, cause the space between where the side of the road where you go slow and the trains is so small.
Yeah.
And I get really nervous when I'm in that spot, and I don't want to get hit by anything and shells and bananas and whatnot and leader shells. So like, I always like, move the stick and I hit something and I fall behind. I'm like, God dang it! And it's on 100cc and like I'm embarrassed. But the tracks that I really liked the most is the Neo Bowser City. I just like the rain.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Because like I have a fascination with that light rain, like at nighttime and stuff. Like that's why I kind of like Seattle, because that's apparently how it's like.
Yeah.
And was it called Wildwoods?
I know what one you mean. I can't think. I haven't learned the names of the new tracks yet.
It's the one with the
waterfall at the end.
yeah, it's the one in the woods on the new. It's the new DLC one, and the one after is the Animal Crossing. But that one is really, really nice. As soon as I was in that track and looking around, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Just the graphics were just beautiful for it, and it just. Eric said it was one of his favorites, and I definitely agree with that. And I liked the Animal Crossing one a ton.
Yeah, that was neat.
The season's changing each time you race on it. It's pretty cool. I got the winter and the spring.
Okay.
And as I said, I love like winter and stuff like that. So like I got that one. It was nice and pleasing.
Yeah.
Just like all these tracks have these things like it's worlds I want to live in.
Yeah.
Like I want to live on those tracks. It's just so pleasing and stuff like that. But I'm working my way through that. I tried to do 4 cups a day. I'm not gonna be able to do it today, but I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow. But I'll be on 150cc, so we'll see how that goes. I'm kind of rusty in the game. It's been a really long time since I played, because I hadn't played since maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the game came out. And
oh wow!
And was it May last year?
Yeah, May last year. Yeah.
So like
End of May.
I didn't play it a lot at all. So I'm pretty rusty, and like I'm really kind of new to it actually. But what a great game!
Yeah,
so much fun. I have to get my bike spec'd out because I use a bike. I don't use that cart stuff. Child's Play.
Nice.
They took out the wheelies, which I forgot about,
Oh yeah.
which gave you a little speed boost.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed. I forgot about that completely. But great game.
Uh-huh.
The new Heroes patch, as I said, I'll just talk about Kael'thas a little bit. He's an assassin. He's really strong. I wasn't excited for him at all. Like, I was just like, me, whatever. I was only excited because in the patches, like, they change a lot of stuff and like do a lot of user interface changes and stuff like that. And they made the shop really nice.
Yeah.
When you guys get back on, like, they're pretty close to release date, so like everything's starting to come together and it looks nice and all that. But yeah, Kael'thas is really strong. He has 2 really good ultimates, which is good. Most of the time, heroes come out, they have one ultimate that's way better than the other. Like Sylvanas has 2 ultimates. One's picked 90% of the time. The other's 10%. And the 10%, I don't even know why they pick it. It's pretty useless. But this guy has some really good ultimates. One, he just sends a phoenix into an area, and it's like a turret. It just fires at whatever is by there. So like I use that one because it's the most handy. The other one's Pyroblast, and he summons a huge fireball, and it's a slow-moving object, but it homes in on the target that you select, and they can't avoid it. There's ways you can't avoid it, like if you blink out of the way, like when you have Bolt of the Storm.
Yeah.
That ability, like if it's about to hit you and you blink away, like it won't do it, like it won't hit you. There's stuff you can avoid it, but it does like over 1,000 damage, close to 2,000.
Wow.
Which is a lot. So it pretty much kills any squishy hero. But other than that, I haven't really played with him a whole lot. I just got him to 5, but I bought a stim pack, so I did it in like 3 games.
Nice.
Played Smite. I like Smite a lot. The issue is the games are too long. I don't like playing 40 to 60 to 75 minute games. I had a over 60-minute game.
Wow.
It was like it was 1:15 in the morning when I was done. I was like, ugh, I don't want to play this when it's like that.
Yeah.
And I don't like buying items that much. There's auto buy, but I feel like I'm being screwed when I do the auto buy because I don't know if it's buying the best things for me.
Right.
And since I'm new, like I don't want to get overwhelmed with character builds and like that stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's on the Xbox One, by the way. The controls for it are pretty. Like it's a good game. There's more gods in it than heroes have heroes of the Heroes of the Storm's heroes. So, but this game's been out a while, so
Yeah.
On PC, it's just coming to Xbox now. I don't know. I enjoy it. It might be my second favorite MOBA. I just don't think anything can beat Heroes for me.
Right.
Me and Eric are going to play more, so we're probably going to talk about it more. But I don't have a whole lot to say about it.
Okay.
Other than it's cool. Some of the gods I think are stupid.
Right.
I played as Neith, I should say, Ra, and Guan Yu, which is from Dynasty Warriors, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Because he's the Chinese god of war or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's so cool that Guan Yu's in this game. But, what else did I play? Oh, Story of Seasons. Not a whole lot to say with that. Just been farming. I planted... Corey, you would love this game, by the way. So would you, Dan. I think you guys would all love it. I think you should all get it. Any interest, Corey?
Story of the Seasons?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I was definitely interested in it, but when it reviewed, it just kind of got decent reviews.
Yeah, 7 to 8.
Yeah, and I was looking for something a little bit more to pull the trigger on it, especially because it was kind of hyped up a bit. Being from the former developers of the
Harvest Moon
series.
Natsum?
It used to be Natsum. It's not anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's copyright issues and whatever.
Gotcha.
I think you should try it. Definitely try it out. I think it's great. Something about... I've always said that I don't want to be a farmer in real life because it's hard work, but farming in the video game is great.
Yeah.
It's just something about just waking up at 6 in the morning in the game and going out and using your hoe and getting some fields tilled or whatever and planting some seeds and watering it and then going to the restaurant in the afternoon and eating some food and talking to some villagers and stuff like that. Just such a peaceful life and it's so happy.
Nice.
That's how I feel about Hearthstone.
I don't know how compared to that Story of Seasons.
I left out that I played tons of Hearthstone. I should talk about that, though, to be honest with you, but I'll save it for next week.
Okay. You can, because I played it too, so... No,
You want me to talk about it?
go for it. I'm just kind of spitballing.
Well, I just wanted to say that I've started to overcome some of my issues, my gaming abilities issues in the game just by watching. I started watching a lot of like training videos and stuff like that. And I found out one of my biggest problems was there's different ways to play decks. There's like a face deck, tempo, value. I don't know. There's all these different terms for different ways to play the decks. And what I always did is played it. The way you can play every deck is by simply trading up kills and building card advantage, and while still trying to maintain board advantage. And you can do that with pretty much any deck. Some decks are better, or some hero, I should say. Are they called heroes in Hearthstone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some heroes are better at it than others, but you can pretty much use any hero to do that kind of thing. But I started to discover like how important tempo is in the game, and like make sure you're playing your minions on their curve. So like when it's turn 5, and if you have a 5 mana creature, you need a really good reason not to play it. Whereas before I'd be like, oh, I still have all these smaller creatures. I'll just play these, 2 or 3 smaller creatures on turn 5 rather than this 1/5 creature, because if you play the 5, then you'll still have card advantage, and there's a 5 mana threat on the board that the other player has to deal with. So that was a big mistake I was making, was not doing that hardly ever. And it's lots of other little things that I'm starting to pick up on that I just wouldn't have realized until I heard it explained. And then once you hear it explained once, it's like, yeah, that makes total sense. Like, how stupid can I be?
Right.
So I did. I had a few good runs. I think with my Warlock deck, I won like 8 games in a row and got up to rank 15.
Wow.
Which still isn't my highest. What did I hit? 13 that one month?
Yeah, you said 13.
Yeah. And another thing I learned is that mediocre players always choose the fancy play rather than the best play. And I realized that was another mistake I was making, is I always like set up a synergy on the board because it was fancy, rather than just doing what needed to be done, taking the fancy play versus the best play.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a good example that I could explain right now. My brain's kind of mush at the moment, but that was another mistake I was making. And I forget, I think I read it on... I've been spending a lot of time on the Hearthstone subreddit, and somebody publishes these really good infographics every now and again. And that was one of the points that they made, was how often mediocre players go with the fancy play, which is often a mistake.
Yeah.
So just something to keep in mind for you Hearthstone players out there. I'm really trying hard to get better. I'm going to go pro.
Pro Hearthstone,
I'm going to retire at 30 years of age.
Nice. Okay. Do you have anything you want to talk about Hearthstone?
I was just going to say, I always try to make the fancy play. So
yeah, it's like, oh, this will be cool if I do this, and then this happens. But, you got to ask yourself.
Does it ever set up that way? No.
Sometimes.
No,
but when it does, and then you make that play, it's like, oh, that was cool. Like, I really screwed him, but you could have done this other thing, which wasn't as sexy, but would have been way more effective.
Yeah, you would have won a couple turns earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was I got a haircut this week, so like I sat in the barber, and there was 7 or 8 people ahead of me.
Oof.
Yeah, so I just played Hearthstone. And I was pretty successful with it, but I don't know. I'm to the point now where I need new cards. I'm tired of the decks that I've been using. My Shaman deck isn't that good. I feel like my Mage deck's the best, but I don't want to play my Mage because everybody plays the Mage.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy.
Are you doing arena runs?
Yeah, but like I win one deck and I own half the cards in it.
Well, just keep doing arena runs.
I think it's just because I'm really bad at the game.
I do an arena run like every other day, just about. Because I'll do the 2 quests, and then whatever wins I get along the way is usually enough coins to do an arena run.
I have like 450 coins. Like I have a bunch of arena runs in me. I just like I just gotta have the time, not the time because it doesn't take very long. I just gotta have the motivation to get on the internet, Hearth Arena, and do the draft and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
make decks. That's the part I don't like because I have to like enter it in for all three cards for 30 times. Is it?
Yeah, 30 cards.
Yeah. So like it just I'm lazy, and I hate the druid.
Yeah, I hate the druid too.
The druid just has so many stupid cards and it makes me angry.
Yep. The druid, I think in the last month, I think the druid was the top pick in
Really?
pro play. Yeah.
Why does that change so much?
People just come up with new strategies and new deck combinations, and with the release of new cards, like, things change a little bit, and depending on what everyone else is picking, just by virtue of the fact that something's popular, then something else becomes better,
Yeah.
and then it slowly shifts towards that till everyone realizes it. Like, Mech Mage deck was really huge last month. I haven't seen a Mech Mage deck in weeks.
Yeah.
Just because people come up with other decks that are good at countering that. So
Yeah.
people start to realize, oh, this isn't working anymore, and then they move on to the thing that everybody else had, and then the smart people come up with something better, and it's constantly shifting.
That would explain why I've seen a lot of druids the last couple like weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, because then somebody publishes an article, this is the druid deck that pros are winning with the most, and then everybody rushes to make that deck, and then the pros move on to something else, and it just goes from there.
Are paladins getting more popular too? Because I've seen a lot of paladins recently too.
Yeah, paladins definitely. And I'm still waiting to see a good dragon deck, because the dragons are what came out with the most recent expansion here, Blackrock Mountain. A lot of dragon cards came out.
Okay.
So it looks like paladin is going to be the best dragon class. Really? Yeah. So we're just waiting to see how that plays out. But it's funny because when the last expansion came out, everyone's like, "Oh, that card, such and such a card, will never be valid. Like, what a waste." Grim Patron, that's what it was. The Grim Patron card that came out with Blackrock Mountain. There's a really good video somebody posted that they cobbled together of all these pros in Hearthstone pundits, like, seeing this card and discussing it when it first released, and them all just saying, like, "Yeah, I don't really see the value here. This isn't worth it. Not a very good card. Blah 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 blah." But, like, one of the most popular decks now is the Warrior Grim Patron deck, and it is a bitch to play against.
Is it?
Yeah. So Grim Patron it's a 3/3 minion, 5 mana cost, but if it takes damage and survives, it duplicates itself. So in the Warrior has a card, I think, is it Warsong Commander, that a creature with 3 or less attack has charge. So if you get out the Grim Patron and use Whirlwind on it, which does 1 damage, it spawns another one. And then that one has charge because the Warsong Commander's out there, so the 2 can attack. And then if you have another card that can deal 1 damage to one of them, or both of them, then more Grim Patrons come out and they have charge, so they can attack all in the same turn.
So they could wipe you if you have like 20 health. If they
It's happened to me a lot of times.
That would just infuriate me.
Yeah. That's why I don't tweet very much anymore, but I tweeted that Hearthstone really needs like, what the hell was that emote?
Yeah.
Like, or like are you effing kidding me emote, I think is what I said.
So do you feel like Hearthstone now has more diversity because of the new expansion?
It feels like it.
That's just as important.
Just compared to, like last month, or maybe last month or 2 months ago was kind of a dry spot until the new cards came out, but
And that's what I was playing.
yeah, that might have just been a really bad time. Because I am seeing a lot more different decks.
Mm-hmm.
And the one, not to toot my own horn here, but what I'm seeing more and more now is kind of what I built a couple of weeks ago with my mage deck. There's what the hell is the name of the card? I can't remember now. But what it does is every time you cast a spell with the mage, it deals 2 damage to random enemies. And I put those cards in my mage deck as soon as I got them, which was the day they came out, and had some quite a bit of luck with it. But now I'm seeing that more and more. Not saying that I started it, but I was doing it
Yeah.
before it was cool.
I've seen you do that deck plenty of times.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I like that one a lot because you get to play around with all the mage spells, which are fun because they have the portal that summons a random creature for 2 mana, but it costs 3 less, so you can get like a good legendary on the board really early in the game with that card. Unstable Portal, I think it's called. I don't know. I could talk about Hearthstone forever.
Well, we have a little feedback about Hearthstone, so I'll read
good.
that right now so we can transition into it.
I have one quick question though, Corey. Is there a way I can get dust faster? Because the 2 decks that I want to build for my Warlock and Shaman are a lot of dust, and I just feel like I'm never gonna get there.
I mean, you can just deconstruct all your cards, but it's kind of a waste to do that.
Yeah, I don't really want to do that. And arena, like an arena run, I'll get like 30.
Yeah, just keep doing arena runs. I mean, there's no easy way to get dust. It's just the only way to get it is to deconstruct cards or win it. But you need so much of it to make the good cards that you want that I don't know. It's hardly worth it to try and get enough dust to make a card. I just look at it as I'll work around that card, and maybe win it eventually in a pack.
I was gonna say, can you win like any? You can win any card in any pack, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because like the decks are like 8,000 dust and 7,000 dust. I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah.
That's steep.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they obviously have the expectation that you have most of those cards and only need to craft a couple of them, but that's not really the case.
No, definitely.
Not even with me. I mean, I haven't spent any money on the game, so it's just been since beta, me plugging away, doing arena runs, and I still don't have very many cards.
I actually decided that I'm probably going to end up buying the expansions at some point so I can get the cards that I'm missing.
Yeah. There's only certain ones you need, though.
Shade of Naxxramas?
Is that the one that boosts itself every turn?
Yeah, well, it's in stealth.
Yeah. It's a decent card. Haunted Creeper was big from the last one. That's the spider, that one you kill. It spawns 2 1/1s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. This is from Valerie in Illinois, who says, "Hey, athletes. Well, I have to admit, I've been playing Hearthstone for the past month or so, and I like it a lot. I don't play every day, but will keep up with my dailies. I've been doing arena runs in hopes of getting some better cards. I don't have anything too special at the moment, but I've built a druid deck that has been consistently successful. I've also started playing ranked and got to rank 21 so far this month. Corey, do you have any tips for picking the opening cards? I find this part difficult. What cards do you avoid starting with in your hand?" You can answer that.
Well, I mean, obviously, you want a 1-cost card in your hand. And it depends on the deck that you have. Most of the time, I'll mulligan. If I don't have a 1-cost card, I'll mulligan all my cards just to try and get one. And again, it depends on the deck that you have. It's not necessarily that important to get your 1 mana card so you can play it on the first turn. Like with the Hunter, I try to get that 1-cost card because, the Hunter faces really quick and you just want to be able to do as much damage as fast as possible. But other decks, like I was just talking about my mage deck, it doesn't necessarily matter so much. In that case, I just want to have a certain number of spells in my hand. So I guess my answer would be it really depends on your deck. The Druid, she said Druid, right?
Yep.
The Druid's a little bit different because they, with their Innervate and what's the other one that gives them mana? I can't think of the name of it. It's not as urgent to have a 1 mana card. But again, I don't know the deck that she's using, so I can't really speak to that. If you want, you could always send me a screenshot of your deck build, and I'd be happy to consider it. Mm-hmm. One card I like to have is the Zombie Chow, which is a 1-cost creature that's 2/3. But when it's destroyed, it heals 5 damage to the enemy hero. But it's just good to get out there early and take out whatever they put out. I don't necessarily use it to face. If you can attack the hero with it, then go ahead. But if they have a minion out, I use it to just attack the minion to either kill it or do some damage to it. So Zombie Chow is a decent one-cost card for early to mulligan for.
Sounds good. I also wanted to comment on Heroes of the Storm's recent downgrade in quality of play. I think the game will be flooded with so many new players when it officially launches that the terrible players will be fewer, hopefully. Just an idea, since I have a firm belief that beta players are naturally snarkier.
Oh, yeah. She's spot on.
Right. Yeah, Eric and Will have both been complaining about some bad matches in Heroes of the Storm.
I've had a lot better luck solo queuing than Eric has.
Right.
Eric's had some pretty terrible luck. It's just how people have been acting recently.
Yeah.
And I know it's going to get worse, a lot worse, but I'm in too deep to get out now. I don't know. I'm just I'm excited to play. Well, everyone's matchmaking rank is getting wiped when the game launches. So, sorry, new players. You're going to be going up against probably some really good players in there. And I'm sorry, really good players, because you're going to be playing with some pretty bad people. It's going to be bad when the game comes out. I feel it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I try not to get mad, and when people get mad, I just ignore it now. If I'm with a group of people, I'll fight back because I stick up for my homies.
Right.
But when I'm by myself, I just ignore it or just mute them. It's not worth it.
Yeah. Okay. Question: when is the Thumbstick Athletes United States Gaming Tour? We would love to host you for a night, and I'm sure others would too. You could travel around recording live listener feedbacks and discussion. I would love to do that.
That'd be sweet.
That would be a freaking blast.
Yeah, we get the Magic Mystery Bus and just tour around in it.
Yeah, that would be great. As long as it had electricity to power whatever games we were going to play that night.
Sure, we can get a little generator.
Yeah, it would have to juice my PC, and then we'd have to stop somewhere where there was internet.
We'd probably make utility vans that can push out that kind of power.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. An RV.
Yeah, there you go.
Tour bus
Someday.
Yeah, we're a few decades out from that, I would say.
I don't know. I don't know if it's decades, but I would like to get to PAX East. That's my first traveling goal, is get to PAX East. Maybe next year. We say that every year. Probably not, but I would love to go to PAX East.
Well, it's not the worst time.
It is at a really, really bad time. Absolutely. So it's usually Easter weekend.
Can't miss that.
No, not really. Not really. Thanks for the free content, and thank God hockey is almost over. Valerie in Illinois, soon to be Iowa. So thanks for that, Valerie. Yeah, I mean, I think Corey and Will want hockey over too. I was glad when it was over, just because I didn't have to stress out about it anymore.
I have anxiety from it.
Okay. Now, we didn't have Eric compiling our feedback for this week, so I'm looking it up right now.
He said somebody wrote in.
Yeah, last minute.
Yeah, so.
Okay, this is... No, not that one yet.
Isn't Facebook fun?
Facebook is a nightmare. A freaking nightmare.
Trying to locate anything?
Yes, I got it. Okay. This is from Jonathan, who says, new listener here, probably burned through 5 or more shows this week. My fiance and I are truckers and gamers. We have a PS4. Like playing couch co-op games is a Wii worth getting. I'm not a huge Nintendo fan, but I like the Zelda games and the Smash titles. I'm more of an FPS guy, and she likes anything but FPSs. Is a Wii worth getting? Wii U, I'm guessing, right? Couch co-op games, Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, great couch co-op games. Competitive
3D Land.
Couch co-op. Yeah, Super Mario's 3D Land. One you can play on the PS4 that I think is probably one of the best couch co-op games I've ever played, Rayman. Rayman Legends is on the PS4. You can play that with your fiance.
I think Tower Fall's great too.
Tower Fall's really good too. Yep, that's a fun competitive couch co-op game.
But yeah, Rayman, Dan. You would bow.
Yep, Rayman Legends. Me and my wife have sunk many an hour into Rayman Legends. It may be my favorite platformer of all time. Co-op, like Corey talked about, Super Meat Boy is probably better single player, but For co-op, I don't think you can do better than Rayman Legends for co-op, couch co-op. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, in our opinion, obviously the Wii U is worth getting. It's a good system, and if you have any like friends that have like Wii controllers or whatever that they aren't using, you can take those and use them on the Wii U. And there's a lot of deals floating around. If you pay attention, you can get a Wii U and like Mario Kart 8 and another game, Donkey Kong Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which is supposed to be a really good platformer too. Just pay attention for those.
Especially if you're a Zelda fan, I would definitely get one because the new Zelda is probably gonna be pretty sweet. So
And he says he likes Smash, so the new Smash Brothers is awesome. You can play online. The online works really well.
Yeah,
same thing with Mario Kart.
If you get one, just give me your. Actually, you don't need to give the friend code anymore. That's a 3DS thing. So we just need username, and I'll play. I play Smash a lot. I play with some coworkers now, so I've been playing a lot more again.
Nice.
So
I gotta practice up if we're gonna play next week.
Yeah, I gotta play Smash. I haven't played Smash in a long time. I mean, I was never good at Smash anyway, but I should at least play a little bit, probably.
Get back in the groove.
Yeah. I was never in a groove to begin with. So, welcome to the show, too, Jonathan. That's awesome. Also from Jonathan, he says, which game from the days of yore deserves a remake? I'd like to see Maniac Mansion. What do you think deserves a full... I'm guessing full-on remake.
Oh, man. Super Mario World.
Mario World, huh? Like with new Super Mario Brothers Wii U type of graphics?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
But
Mario Maker is going to kind of do that.
When is that coming out?
I'm sure they're going to talk about it at E3. I bet you it'll come out this fall.
It's got to. I feel like they've been talking about it for years.
They mentioned it in that video Reggie did for the Nintendo World Championship or whatever.
Yeah, I bet you that's this fall, and then Zelda will be in the spring next year.
There's Star Fox in between them.
Star Fox, yeah. I haven't heard or seen anything about Star Fox, and I want to see Star Fox.
They said in the video at the Game Awards that Star Fox will be before Zelda.
Yeah.
So...
Back on topic, though. Remake or remaster? Remake. I guess remake.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves for the NES.
That was an awesome game. One of the few good first-party video games that's out there. Or what is that? Movie tie-in games, I guess?
Licensed,
that's what I'm looking for. Yes, licensed games. I'll have to think about that one. I can't come up with anything off the top of my head right now.
Pod Racer
Would be amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oculus Rift.
Oh,
man.
Corey, how dare you
Stop.
put that in my head.
That would be fun. I'd take a Morrowind remake at this point. Speaking of Morrowind.
Somebody's doing it.
They're trying to. They tried to do it in the Oblivion engine, and now they're working on it in the Skyrim engine. I don't know. It's such a huge game. I don't know if they'll ever be able to finish it before the next Elder Scrolls comes out.
Then they'll do it in the new Elder Scrolls game.
Would you play a remastered EverQuest, Dan? Original EverQuest?
Probably not. I just think the mechanics are just so ancient at this point.
Yeah.
I've liked Guild Wars way too much to.
I just keep thinking about the olden days, like going down in the morning at 6 a.m.
Yeah,
and
that game was freaking hard too.
Booting up EverQuest and getting into the Fadeware Forest or whatever. Walking over to Crushbone Castle. Nobody else was on at that point.
I remember how much of a bastard it was to cross the ocean to go to the other continent. That was a trek.
Yep, you had to sit on that stupid boat.
Not just that, but once you got into the other thing, there was no city on the other end of it. You had to travel to the city. And you had to go through some dangerous places. And if you died, you had to go to the last spot you bound yourself.
Yeah.
Which would have been the city that you started in, which would have been Freeport, which is the city that I usually started in.
Yeah, because even going to the what are they, Butcher Block Mountains. That's where the boat would go, and then you had to make that walk from the docks to Caledon.
Yep.
See, I'm name dropping on you.
It was dangerous.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time exploring those islands too, in the Ocean of Tears.
Sure. Well, you always hoped you'd discover something that nobody knew was there, or like you'd come upon treasure or something, which never happened, but you always just hoped you would.
Yeah. Something cool that no one else came across.
Yeah.
It was fun. They don't make them like that anymore.
No. It's probably all the nostalgia talking, but that's why I asked if you would play a remake of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not opposed to it. I would try it. I don't know who I'm kidding.
Rise of Nations.
Rise of Nations was good. Okay, this is also from Jonathan, who says, if Ubisoft will allow 1 versus 1 online in Watch Dogs without a PlayStation Plus subscription, why not allow players to pay a one-time fee to use online features on all games?
That's an interesting idea. I've never even thought of that.
And I thought about this, and because I in my brief time with my PS4, I think the only game I played online was Destiny.
You played Destiny online?
I played Destiny online.
Oh wow!
You kind of had to be online. But,
yeah, you're right.
I played briefly online, and like if I could have not spent whatever it was, $50 on PS Plus, and just spent like $5 to unlock the online features for Destiny, that would have been awesome. You know?
Well, it's probably
$5 fee to use the online features.
That 1v1 it's probably not considered. I mean, do you need PS Plus to use the online features in Dark Souls?
I think so. Yeah. Well, it was
Bloodborne. You do.
Bloodborne. You do, because Will's had expired when I played it, so I couldn't have any help.
Interesting. I wonder how Ubisoft did that.
I don't know.
Because it's. I mean, I don't know how those relationships work between publishers and the console makers. Like, which features are online subscription required and which aren't.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting though.
Yeah, I just think it would be cool. Like, it's because I'm not one to play a lot of online games. I don't use most of the online features in most of the games other than like patches.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could have spent $5 to unlock online on Destiny as a one-time fee, that would have been great for me. Because even like a lot of the PS Plus games, I never ended up trying or played very briefly.
Yeah, but at that point, wouldn't you just say, well, why don't I just pay $5 for a month of PS Plus?
I could have, but if that's the only game I'm going to play throughout my online playing, and if I played it for a few months, I didn't. I played Destiny for like 2 weeks, and then traded. But, if I could have just that one-time fee of $5 instead of, because I think it's like $8 a month.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a lot more. It's definitely worth it to spend on the year subscription.
Yeah,
it's pretty steep discount. So, he says monthly and yearly fees for online content is disconcerting. I want to play The Last of Us online without having to pay for PS Plus. I own it for PS3, but I find myself getting my multiplayer fix on PS3. So,
personal computer.
Anything on computer, unless you're talking about sub fees for MMORPGs. But I really think those are going away.
Yeah, there's no game that has one besides WoW.
WoW
all right.
Has them. Eve has them. Final Fantasy has them.
Yeah,
but for the most part, they're going away. WildStar is going to be dropping them. I think that the reason why World of Warcraft lost like 3 million subscribers is partly because of the sub fees.
But boy, do they still make money.
They still make money. They still have like 7 million active subscribers, which is crazy.
Blizzard's beyond rich. It's sickening.
Yeah. So, but I agree.
My guess is the Watch Dogs thing is just Ubisoft exploiting some loophole in whatever terms they have with PlayStation, right?
That could very well be. I know they had like a partnership with Watch Dogs, because Watch Dogs was what it was gonna. There was the Watch Dogs bundle with PS4. They were gonna launch like with it.
Yeah.
So maybe that was a. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it just sort of comes down to that the console makers are the gatekeepers to online.
Right.
You got to pay up.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you would pay Sony $5 to unlock online features for Watch Dogs, instead of having to pay for PS Plus and unlock online for all games. Just pick and choose which games you want to use it for.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting thought.
I don't know. Microtransactions for online features.
Stop it.
You can play another match of Heroes of the Storm right now for 50 cents. Or you can wait 24 hours.
Oh, I'd be so broke.
How dare you? Don't give them any ideas.
Yes, just stop it.
Ryan and I on Twitter says, "Oh, this is about the Assassin's Creed. Where was it?" He says, "And I'm the only one who cares. I already have come to the conclusion I will do a review voicemail for y'all." That's probably what's going to happen. Although Eric will buy it, I think.
I'm not disinterested in Assassin's Creed. I still want to play Rogue in Unity. Well, not so much Unity. I do want to play Rogue though.
I'm gonna buy Rogue.
Buy it on PC so I can play it.
You can't because the Ubisoft.
Yeah,
game.
the Ubisoft DRM. You can't share it on Steam.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Someone has to buy it.
Buy it on Good Old Games. Is it on Good Old Games?
No. Ubisoft keeps all their crap under Uplay.
You know where you can get it though, Corey?
Where?
You know.
The Pirate Bay.
Yep.
Xbox 360.
Yeah. Oh, I do. I have a 360. That's crazy. I should get it on 360.
Get Rogue for 360.
That old thing.
It'll be the maiden voyage of the 360. Wait, what is that? Is that the first one or the last one? Maiden voyage?
Maiden Voyage's first voyage.
Oh, so it would be the swan song.
There you go.
How's that?
Swan Song, yeah. That's right. Okay. I think the rest of this is... Okay, this is for question of the week stuff. I think I covered everything. If not, let us know, and we'll definitely read your feedback next week if we missed it this week. Corey, question of the week.
This week's was, what video game would have the best theme park rides? This was inspired by Nintendo announcing their partnership with Universal to bring Nintendo-themed rides to their parks.
Mm-hmm. Derek from Chicago says, how about a Shadow of the Colossus style ride where you are ascending a giant creature, twisting and turning around its limbs, climbing higher and higher until you finally get to the top. Once you reach the pinnacle, the ride flies through the weak spot and you rapidly descend as the creature is dying around you. It is a frightening descent of rapid turns and near misses as you escape into a serene landscape where your faithful horse awaits you.
That would be cool.
That was quite the picture you painted us, Derek. That's awesome.
Yeah, wow.
That would be fantastic. I'm not one for theme park rides, but that does sound cool. Definitely.
I remembered.
I makes me want to play that game. I never played Shadow of the Colossus, but I've heard nothing but good things, and that makes me want to play it.
I remembered having Eric asked last week if I had ever been to Universal, and I thought I had, but I couldn't remember being there. But I did just remember having been there and being on the Twister ride.
Uh-huh.
It's called a ride, but you just stand there and watch a tornado. Which was awesome. The tornado was whipping around like a gas station and things were exploding and you're just standing there like right in the thick of it. And that sort of made me think of that, like, just sort of experiencing the Shadow of Colossus thing. I don't know. It would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. This is from Jonathan. He calls himself Passetti Spaghetti. the Facebook feedback. This is an answer to the question of the week. He would have it be the Master Chief Collection because none of the rides would be finished. Nice.
That's good.
Well played.
Passetti Spaghetti sounds like a something that you'd find in a Chef Boyardee can.
Passetti Spaghetti, yeah. I think that's everything, right?
Sure, Dan.
We got something from on our website.
Oh, email?
It was a comment on our Dark Souls 2 on your Dark Souls 2 article, Corey, from a while ago.
Ooh.
Yeah. Man, we don't need it. We don't need it. You can read it if you want. It's kind of dated at this point.
So
We just got it on Monday though.
Who went back and read that article's from like 2 years ago?
I know. I don't know.
Corey, somebody found it on the internet. Back off.
How?
I think they were replying to someone else on the thread.
Oh.
But I'm gonna read it. It's kind of funny. They say, yeah, same. Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin offline. Thank you, Russia. Let's talk about the real issue. The part of me that would want to play online is the wussy part that's scared of the pursuer and wouldn't mind an extra hand, staff, bastard sword. And the part which would enjoy helping others with their fights. Short of that, I find the difficulty almost like a personal challenge from the developers to myself. Besides all that, I just don't have the money to be buying games right now. The world plays enough games with all of us. A little torrenting never hurt anyone. Disclaimer, do not pirate games. This information is provided for educational purposes only. Okay.
So the gist of the article, which again was written like 2 years ago, was, I think the title was, "Is Dark Souls the Best Cure for Piracy?" And essentially what I argued was that if you make a game's online features so compelling and such a integral part of the game, people are more likely to go out and buy it, because online games are a lot harder to pirate and get into than offline. Because you have to access somebody's network and go through that network, and your game has to be authenticated. Not that you can't still do that.
Yeah, because there is like offline World of Warcraft server or private World of Warcraft servers and stuff like that, but
right,
a lot of hoops you have to jump through, and there's
to a lot of people it's probably not worth it.
Right, exactly. It's the Wild West of online gaming.
Yeah.
Anything goes.
Yeah. So that person was commenting,
yeah,
sort of agreeing in a humorous way.
Yeah. And your point too was that's a game that's so hard that you almost need someone else to help you, and he's saying that he takes it as a personal challenge from the developers, to beat the game on his own solo,
pirated,
which I can't imagine. That would be so hard. There was quite a few bosses that I was able to solo and beat on my own, but there was like probably 4 or 5 bosses that there's no way I would have been able to beat by myself.
I don't think in Dark Souls 1, I'm pretty sure I soloed them all, which is why I probably never beat Dark Souls 1 entirely. But Dark Souls 2, I know I had help for every single boss.
Yeah, I was able to solo some of them. But
well, I didn't even mess around. I didn't even try. I was just like, I'm not even. I know, like, I don't have a lot of time. I want to beat these bosses, and so I just always made sure I had help.
Gotcha. Okay, our answer is the question of the week. Will, what do you got?
The first game that came to my mind was Mass Effect. Just think about how cool like a space theme park would be.
Yeah.
You mean the Buzz Lightyear ride?
Legit space, not
goofy cartoon space.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine would be along the same lines. I was thinking like Rogue Squadron. I've always wanted to like be in a piloting.
That'd be
game.
cool too.
And it would be a little bit like you remember that Star Wars ride, Corey?
I sure do.
Was that at Universal?
I think that was Disney. Was it? No, you're right. It must have been Universal.
Because Disney didn't own Star Wars at that point.
No, unless it was. I thought it was an Epcot ride.
I mean, maybe there's the possibility. I don't remember, but it would be like that, because that had the big screen in the front. You're in like a transport with R2D2 and C3PO. It wouldn't be that corny, but how it had the motion thing beneath it to simulate movement, so you could feel like you were something like that. But like in like Rogue Squadron or in one of the Star Wars piloting games, I think would be awesome. Once Oculus Rift comes out, or the virtual reality headset, the piloting games I think are and racing games I think are gonna be a lot more popular than they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Because that really would be perfect. Those are perfect for the virtual reality environment. But anyway, what's your?
Mine was Portal.
Portal.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You obviously wouldn't be able to have the portal gun. I mean, I guess you could kind of simulate, but I think it'd just be fun to sit on a ride and have something shooting the portal gun, and then like you jump through it and get launched somewhere else, and I don't know. I think it'd be really fun.
That's another game that's going to be fun in VR.
Yeah, no kidding. Talk about motion sickness.
Yeah, because you know, falling through floors and stuff with the
Yeah, you jump right side up and come through upside down, and
yeah.
it sounds like puke waiting to happen.
We should keep tabs on what games make us sick while we're playing with our virtual reality headsets.
I don't even need it to be virtual reality for me to get sick. I get motion sickness way too easy.
Okay. Question of the week for next week.
I didn't really have one prepared, but
Well, I mean, we could probably take a break. We're gonna have episode 200 next week, so if you don't have anything,
I was just gonna ask what people want to see in the new in the new Fallout, since it sounds like
Oh.
we're gonna get a lot of info.
okay. Yeah, we should do that before E3 too. So now would be a good time.
Yeah.
So yeah, for next week, what do you want to see in the new Fallout? Anything really? Location?
Features, story, setting, anything.
Yeah, let us know.
Your location's known though.
Yeah, I think people are almost positive it's in Boston, but I mean, dream setting for Fallout 4. You know?
Yeah.
I still want to see a tie-in to like the Elder Scrolls universe, like you stumble into a dimensional portal or something like that,
That would be cool.
Skyrim.
which I think is still going to happen with Dragon Age and Mass Effect.
Yeah, I could see that. There is armor crossover. That was like if you owned or if you had a save for Dragon Age 2, it would show up in Mass Effect 2. You know, I could see that. That would be neat. Okay, that's everything, right?
Yeah.
I don't have my information again. But yeah, our website is www.thumbstickatheltes.com. You can follow links to everything there. Our Twitter feed, you can follow. Facebook, it's all there. Answer the question of the week bar is on the right-hand side if you want to submit it that way. Our YouTube channel is actually getting stuff on it now too, so if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, that would be good. Every week's Twitch broadcast goes up there, usually a day or two after we record, so that'll be there. Someday when I start streaming more, which is hopefully in the next week or two, I can set up a schedule and I'm gonna start streaming Star Wars games. Those will go up there too, and hopefully we can do some more video stuff and get it up on our YouTube channel. But at the very least, for right now, the Twitch streams all go up there. I think I've done that for the past like 15 episodes or something like that. So, yeah, that'll do it for episode 199 of the Thumbstick Athletes podcast. I'm your host, Dan.
Will.
Corey.
Thanks for listening, and get out of my basement. All right.
So the full Twitch broadcast goes up on YouTube.
Sure does. Everything you say and do. Skiddy Skidmark says, can you read chat? LOL. No wonder basically, no wonder why no one watches.
Oh.
Thanks for that,
Well,
Skiddy Skidmark.
Yeah. No, I can't read the chat. Corey mans the chat, and Eric, who is usually here, mans the chat. But really, our podcast it's iTunes. You know, people listen to it at work. We don't have a lot of viewers that watch the show.
I pay attention to the chat pretty well, but if I don't hear from anybody for like 45 minutes, I'll look away. So, you know, I'm not just staring at the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, most people download it on iTunes the next day and listen that way.
Yeah.
I like the username.
Skiddy Skidmarks. Yeah, that's clever. Yeah, good point, Dan. We don't just do this show and then call it good.
What's that?
The live stream is a feature, not the show itself.
Yep. Yeah, we started live streaming was it like 50 episodes in, and we were on Ustream for a while, and then we switched over to Twitch. It was a little bit before episode 100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And for our East Coast listeners, it's probably too late for a lot of people.
It's too late for me.
That's why Jake and Tito a lot of times will be in at this time, but most of our East Coast listeners are in bed. All right.
Oh boy, I'm gonna miss the start of the Ranger game on Saturday.
It's what time? 7?
1, I think it's an afternooner. I'll be getting my hair cut. Callahan, 3 days after an emergency appendectomy, practicing in regular colored jersey.
Of course.
Open for contact.
Did you cut the stream, Corey?
No, I'll cut it now.
Okay.